Oh, Ricky dear.
Hey, hey.
Did everybody enjoy that? I got through it. It was good. It wasn't messed up. I didn't cut it off too soon. Yay! Wendell got to dance. He got to rock out. What is going on? How are you? It's been a week and a half? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Something
Mm,
like that.
yeah, something like
I'm
that.
good.
You went on vacation.
I
I
did.
I decided to go on a streaming spree on my own on my personal channel. And a whole bunch of shit happened, man, while you were gone. Holy crap. What?
Yeah. I mean, I was like across the country all over the place, and then,
Busy, busy.
yeah,
It's okay though. You have to
I
you have
come
to do
back and
that
it's
too.
like, what the hell's going on?
But no, so you're back. I'm glad you're back. We can get back to it. I have a couple things lined up tonight. So chat. Let's say hello to the chat real quick. There it is.
Hi, chat.
Um, how's everybody in the chat doing? I see Marino, Bill, or not Billy, Grant. Oh God, I said Billy. Okay, so I said
Oh,
Billy.
snap.
No, I said Billy because he's talking about Billy. Eh,
Uh,
Hi, Jesse.
could have been worse.
It's the usual suspects in there. Gracie, I see you in there too.
What's up,
Redheaded,
Shane?
redheaded stepchild. So, if you can't tell by the title of the stream, bit of a loaded topic to talk about, but I think we can handle it. And I definitely want the chat to interact with this conversation as well because it's not just a conversation between Ricky and I. I mean, this is like a conversation that everybody should have at least once in their life. Like, just start to determine a few of the views and standards that they hold for themselves and for the people around them as well. So,
Well,
cultural
if you
relativism. Hmm.
if you look at the title, we're going to be talking about Ricky cultures. So
Yeah.
just watch your mouth.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so I'll go in and edit that
The
because
grammar Nazi has spoken.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ, I forgot to put a space here. There we go. There we go. I think I fixed it. All right, there you go. There's your space. And a colon. Hmm. Freaking
Yeah.
psychopaths. Okay, so yes, you are immortalized on my chat.
Lassie.
Anyway, so what's been going on? What'd you go do on your? You don't have to give any specific details, but what'd you do on your vacation, your break?
So I have a few relatives that um, work at particular places of importance.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see some pretty cool government artifacts. One thing I saw was the actual in-person hand-signed Declaration of War from World War One. That
Really?
was cool. Yeah.
That's
Let's
awesome.
see. Yeah, I'm big into propaganda. Like I actually I study that just in modern form.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see a lot of the originals of that. Um, got to see some pretty cool
Like
national security stuff.
World War II propaganda.
One. So
Okay.
the Great before it was World War One. Yeah.
I mean World War II.
No,
That's what I was trying to say, not World War One. Good gracious, Carrie.
no,
Okay.
it was. But yeah, no, it was cool. Got to see a lot of historical stuff that not a lot of people get to see personally up close. Some cool
That sounds
stuff like
like
that.
white privilege to me.
Sounds like
Uh,
federal privilege.
yeah, there you go. So, did you take any time off? Did you chill, do anything, hang out with any friends?
Yeah, well, when I got back, I took like 2 days to just decompress because it was like nonstop. I was all over the place going back and forth between cities. And I talked to a few people on Twitter, but it was like I had like seconds in between some of the things I was doing. So, because it wasn't all just fun,
Yeah,
but it was cool. It was a good trip.
very nice. Hey, as long as you had fun.
I I did not see Kaiser helmets. I did see a lot of old school weapons and gas masks. That was cool.
What is a Kaiser helmet?
Oh wait, you know what? I did see a Kaiser helmet. I take that back. I saw one of the originals. I forget the person's name who it was from because I'm not like a history buff.
I'm gonna guess it's
But
some
there was
sort of like Nazi helmet.
no,
Maybe.
it was well, it's a style, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but Kaiser is in how you pronounce Caesar, but that's older version. But it's a world one, yeah, with a spike on top. And then there was a second display of one where they had to put they have like if you ever see one that has like tassel feather looking thing that goes over the spike, that's because mid war they so like at the time weapons and military technology was progressing fairly quickly. So mid-war they had to throw those on their helmets because the spikes were actually reflecting the sun and pointing them out to the enemy.
Oh,
So,
damn.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
so
that makes sense.
anyway, I
Their
got to
pr-
see a lot of cool shit. It's
their
cool.
vanity was gonna get them killed. Good be
Oh, it
sure.
was actually it had a purpose. It was for so like when you would it was to deflect things when you would be in like hand-to-hand combat, but it blew
Okay,
up in their
so
face.
I was thinking it would be to like ram somebody like a rhinoceros.
Oh no, this was like right in the middle of when they were switching from cavalry to
Oh,
tanks.
okay, okay.
So if you weren't German, you were probably getting mowed over for a minute. But yeah, it was a cool trip.
Oh, poor David. You don't have a wrench. Okay, well, to earn a wrench, you have to impress me with a response, or you have to impress me with a question, and that is
Wait,
how
wait, wait.
you earn your wrench.
I don't know. I have a suggestion.
What's
I
that?
think because David took me up on my recommendation to check out Man in the High Castle
Yeah,
on Amazon,
you want me to wrench him?
and yeah, he's loving it. So I think that's a wrench.
Okay,
What do you think?
sounds good to me. You qualify. You
Cool.
qualify. Here, let's wrench you. No, we shall add you as moderator. Yay! Because see, the whole thing that comes with having a wrench is you're not limited on what you can type in the chat.
Right.
Don't wrench you,
Take
you ungrateful twit.
it
I'll take
back.
it away just as fast. Don't tempt me. I'll leave you wrenched. I shall leave you wrenched. So, okay. Let me see. Hi, Annie. What's up? Hi, Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
Hey
And
there.
then Jesse, and then Woski. My darling
Oh,
Woski.
if
Yeah.
check go to my Twitter profile and check out my pinned tweet. That was pretty cool. Anyway, enough of the trip. What were you? So you took a break.
Yeah, I did. I shut down my Twitter for a couple days because I had a bit of just like it was just all too much. Manchester happened, and then London happened, and I mean, it was just
Yeah,
all too much because it was the same arguments popping up online that happens with every single terror attack, and I literally, without a hint of irony, just couldn't deal. I mean, it was affecting me, so I had to step away for a couple days, and I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, and it kind of panicked a few people, and I apologize to all those people that it panicked. But no, I just needed to step away for a few days, get a little bit of perspective. I mean, I didn't cut myself completely offline. I did stay on YouTube and stuff, but I did cut myself off from Facebook and from Twitter just to get a little bit of perspective because I mean the Ariana Grande concert, that was a bunch of little girls and their moms, or it was women going on a date with their best friends and having a girls' night out and shit like that. And
yeah,
there's nothing more horrific than something like that's actually going to get to me because dealing with the types of things that I choose to associate myself with, like politically and um, religiously, any of those geopolitical type things where the conversation gets difficult, you have to expose yourself to certain aspects of the horror that's going on. But if you don't shut off a certain part of yourself, then it will affect you. But if you shut yourself off too much, then you're cold to it, and people just they can't relate to what you're trying to say, so you just come off as insincere. So it's a fine balance, and I let my balance get a little bit out of whack, and I realized it and took a break and came back, and I'm better.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm real quick.
Hmm.
Dead wrong. Rick here successfully completed the challenge for his wrench. um, no, so okay, so like lifelong political junkie, news junkie, me, and the last couple months, for the first time in my life, uh, I've actually cut back on my news consumption,
Hmm.
and so that in itself to me was like, okay, this shit's getting real, because usually like that's my thing. Like I'm a C-SPAN junkie. I'm that person. Like I will watch like raw congressional footage for hours because I like it that much.
And I'm the same way. My husband sits there and looks at me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching a speech." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause I like it." And it's hard to explain to somebody who doesn't get into it, like
Yeah,
why you like it. It's the whole complexity, the human complexity that comes into play with these types of things that really pulls me in. So,
yeah,
it's hard to explain to someone else how fascinating it is to sit there and watch a powerful person wriggle and try to handle some very, very difficult situations as a human, but as like a person in power at the same time. It's just fascinating to me.
yeah. There's several reasons that I like it. So there's the philosophical side in me
Hmm.
that just wants to analyze the shit out of what everyone's saying. Um, but also then there's the human behavior part of me. So
Yeah.
looking at body mannerisms, that kind of stuff. And then of course the political part. So there's a bunch of stuff going on that just like really appeals to me, and it's just really just intellectually stimulating. But especially with the more, I don't know. I think because all of those things combined are what I see is what adds up to statecraft, and I absolutely love statecraft. But it's interesting to see how even congresspersons or their aides or whoever can slip up in logic.
Oh,
And
oh,
we
I
could
didn't even
sit
think
this for
about
like
it. I didn't even think about it. I'll bring up the shooting as
so.
well, the Alexandria. Sorry for interrupting. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Oh no, that's cool. Oh, I was just saying. So like one of the things we actually did in undergrad was we analyzed the transcript of Richard Nixon's lawyers, and just like watching three of them in
Oh
the
my.
Congress just completely fuck up,
Uh,
like just logically over and
you've
over.
got to be kidding me because I am like super obsessed with the whole Nixon thing right now.
Well,
Um,
there's a lot of parallels,
oh,
although I would say it's more like Iran Contra.
all
But
right. Well,
yeah, there's
let's
a lot of
let's make
parallels.
sure that we pin that one, and we can do like on
Yeah,
Sunday. On Sunday,
that's
let's
cool.
do a Nixon thing with the
Sure.
parallels of what's going on. I'm dead serious because I've I think I brought it up with Need like a couple months ago. I think I was in a stream with him. Um,
Yeah,
and talking about because he's very very knowledgeable on a whole lot of things when it comes to like geopolitical stuff, and
yeah,
so I've been like really kind of digging into like World War I and stuff, just trying to understand like how did that trigger like Adolf Hitler? How did that trigger him? Like what was it? And of course I'm pretty well into it at this point, but it brought about the conversation about Nixon, and I was like, "Neat,
yeah,
what's up with the Nixon thing? Like, what do you think?" And just trying to pick his brain a little bit, and he's like, "I don't know, Carrie." So that stream, I
well,
was like, "I've got to find somebody who's interested in that." I'll be
yeah.
damned.
No, I can tell you a lot just from human
All
behavior, not
right,
even from the
we'll
point of view. So we got
definitely
it.
yes, we
Do
will
it.
get on that one. Um, but yeah, I didn't put any links or anything for the Alexandria shooting in the lineup for the stuff that we're gonna go over, but towards the end I'll just grab a link and pop it up on the screen and we can talk about it because holy shit, that's fucked up. Absolute insanity. People walking around with rifles, mowing down politicians of all people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, this okay. That's not the snip I wanted.
Cultural relativism.
Cultural relativism. Yes, yes, yes. Where
Something
did
I regularly fight in my sociology department.
really? Like, what do you mean?
It's like well, there's like maybe two or three other people in that department that totally get why it's complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else is like, it's a regular thing because it's a main component of behavior. And so it's like me and a handful of people that basically end up like academically trolling them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's something I deal with a lot. So it's fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, I
I
bet that's
guess.
fun. So what would you say the percentage of like the SJW type mindsets that you're coming into contact with, like in your classes and stuff? If you don't mind me asking before we get going on this horrific
No,
story.
that's fine. Um, I would draw a distinction because there are some, like the SJWs that we talk about that are on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few of those. There's sort of this middle ground where they're not just like crazy. Um, did we drop the stream?
No,
There you are.
no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
You went gone for a second.
Yeah, I'm
So
muted.
there's
I
this,
muted myself. Sorry.
okay. So there's this middle ground where they're not just like absolutely insane, but they agree with a lot of the common arguments that we encounter, but they're not nuts. Like they actually have like thought it through. You can tell they're genuine and sincere. They're not like screaming at people. It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, maybe I
so
should have
there's a
asked
lot of
maybe like the regressive, progressive mindset. Like, are you encountering that? I guess I should
yeah,
say.
that would probably be more accurate.
Okay.
But because of the environment, they're not like raging lunatics like we see on the internet. They're way more professional. They just
Yeah.
are wrong. Yeah. But
They'll sit there and have the discussion with you in an educated manner, but it's still just as eye-rollingly suspicious.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem they have, I would say, is they don't understand the difference between it's not even correlation and causation. I mean, that's part of it, but so there's inequality and then there's stratification. So inequality is when it's appropriate to compare like two demographics, say, in the same group. So like if there's an impoverished demographic and then there's one that's more impoverished and there's a causal relationship between those and all that, that's appropriate. But there are differences that have nothing to do with any kind of some kind of systemic problem, and that's stratification. It's just a difference. There's nothing inherently wrong or bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because like any intro sociology course, that is like pounded into people's heads that is not the same thing. It's really important. And then I see it all the time and it drives me nuts. So I point it out constantly, and it's like me, a handful of professors, and then like two grad students, and then it's like versus everyone else. But fortunately, they're not off the wall. The people that we disagree with, they'll actually take input, and even if they don't agree with it, they're not like raging or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Not resorting to violence.
Nowhere near it. They don't even like yell or anything like that. It's an actual conversation.
Okay, it's interesting to hear because I mean, that's obviously what we hear the most arguments against being on the internet and stuff is like university, brainwash, and all that good stuff. So it's nice to hear an actual educated person who is experiencing it currently. There we go. I managed to freaking vomit that out.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because that really bothers me. Like when I see that, I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I understand that you see these people on the internet acting like idiots, and then they say they go to this school or they do something stupid at this school, but the school is not teaching them that. It's like, no. It just makes me feel bad because I wonder how much it's like discouraging people from higher education.
It's doing it a lot. I don't remember the name of the university, but it might be the one in Michigan. But they are losing funding so quickly from the alumni that they're panicking. Or is it Missouri?
Yeah, Missoula. It's Missouri. That's actually not too far from me. I know some people there. And they're having they're
closing dorms and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Because so it's like the crazy shit that's done. But that's really unusual. Like that whole Melissa Click thing. That's not like widespread. That just it isn't. We think it is if like that's all you know. So like let's say you're not in a university environment and you just look on the internet. Well, of course, that's what's going to like be prevalent
Yep.
because it's sensationalist.
Oh yeah.
But that's not the norm. People aren't doing that. So that's
Okay.
frustrating people in universities.
All right.
Anyway,
So the cultural relativism.
yes.
And the reason that I wanted to bring it up is because I came across this story, and man crushes wife's head with stone, suspecting infidelity. Um, the title alone is just like holy shit, and the link to this article is in the description. Excuse me, if anybody's interested in going to the actual page. I don't have the full story cut out to put up on the screen for you, but if you want to go and read it yourself, you can. But I'll read it to you. So it says a 37-year-old man, suspecting his wife's infidelity, killed her by smashing her head with a stone following a quarrel between them on Tuesday evening at Palakarani. So, anyway, this is in India, so these are going to be named Indian names that are going to be a little bit difficult for me to say, so I'm going to try to butcher them as
Use
little as
initials.
possible. Yeah, so the murder came into light when the man identified as V, we'll call him V because he has a really long name, walked into the Pal police station and confessed to have murdering his wife. So this guy basically just walks into the police station and he's like, yo, by the way, I just killed my wife. And they questioned him and asked him what happened, what was going on. Apparently she had been having an association with a taxi driver for a couple weeks, and the husband noticed it because the neighbors brought it to his attention that they had seen the man going to and from the house. He said something to his wife. She continued to be seen with this man, and not in any kind of compromising situations. But he was still, she was still having association with him. And the man continues and says that he continued to argue with his wife daily, and finally he just snapped and killed her with a rock. And the way that this story is worded is just, it's startling because it's just like, okay, so there we go. Sorry, I do have one. So the way that this story is worded was just, it's horrifying because they're not talking about the murderer. They're talking about what she did and how the murder happened by what she did. So most people are going to go ahead and jump to the conclusion that since this is in India, it must be Muslim. Well, you're wrong. It's not Muslim. It's most likely Hindu or Christian. So, okay, so there's the rest of the article. So the police said that this man, he would sell groundnut barfi, or whatever the hell that is, it's called, in shops around Palikarani to earn a living. Some time ago, Eswari reportedly became friends with the taxi driver. When V came to know about the relationship, he asked her not to indulge in it. So, they continued to argue about it, and then they had a fight, and he killed her with the rock. And he left the body at home, and then went and turned himself into the police. So, just everybody take a look over there to the far left. Look at the top comment.
Oh, the top comment.
Yeah. That is the part you need to read. That is the part you need to look at. Because it says, if the illegal relationship, as reported by her husband, is true, then her 2 children are the sufferers for her act. And now, with the father is also going to jail, imagine the plight of children. But it seems those who are all indulging in such illicit relationships forgets their own family, which is applicable to both men and women. And it seems the equality is sincerely being followed on such relationships. So, the person who's writing this means inequality.
I want to
Or
know how they managed to use applicable, but then completely fuck up the noun declension and
because
conjugations.
this is being translated, so and translated poorly, but you can kind of pick up on what they're trying to say.
Yeah, there. You know what? I don't. As far as the tone of the article goes, though, I take no issue with it because it's written in third person passive. It's just descriptive. They're not like. There's no blame assigning. There's no real. There's not even really agency ascribed to anything. It's just saying this happened, this happened, this happened. That's actually pretty good. Like that's how like news should be written, unless it's an art, unless it's an editorial
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
it's not in how it's written. It's the events that happened within this
Right, right.
article. It's like,
I,
holy
I just
shit.
Yeah, no, no, no. I get it. I'm just saying. I saw something about how somebody said something about how the article itself was written.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Um,
yeah, the topic.
so I mean, the whole thing is you have this culture over there that they are very really tightly familia oriented, but at the same time, this is an honor killing. This is a legit honor killing. He killed her to save his reputation because he
Yeah,
couldn't he could not let her get away with that and live because he would have looked like a cuck because that's what a cuck is. So,
yeah. It's at least him, if not what he sees as his family.
yeah. So
Bare minimum.
that brings me to the conversation of are there good cultures and are there bad cultures? So
Yeah,
what
this
say
is where we
you?
clash. Not you and I.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. But so this cultural relativism. Where do you stand on that one, my friend? Oh, dang it! I'm throwing
um,
stuff. Sorry. I'm getting excited. I'm
so
getting excited. I love talking about this stuff.
hold on.
Throwing stuff across the room.
No, I think it's pretty clear that some cultures are better than others. Like, I really don't understand how someone can say that. That's not the case. Um, I don't know because I mean, let's say so. A lot of times, people want to say like, well, action X or behavior X or tradition X is part of their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, don't criticize it. It's not worse or bad. It's just different. It's like no. Even if you accept that, there's still this ethical element of just the very basic minimum of pain and suffering. So any culture that has more pain and suffering than another one, that's the worst one. It
Absolutely.
doesn't. The rest of it doesn't matter, and it's like a miniaturized version of what is commonly used by ethicists in philosophy called possible worlds. It's a way to imagine. Okay, imagine the following scenarios. These are the worlds that could exist. The one with the least amount of suffering is the most ethical. It's the same thing with these societies.
Absolutely.
You can throw everything else out. I mean, it would make it worse if you didn't, but you can throw everything else out. And it's very easy to just say, well, if there's more suffering in this society than the other one, then it's worse. It's really that simple. How people cannot understand that, I'm not sure.
Well, I think that's whenever it starts to come into feelings. That's whenever people's empathy starts to come into play, and they're like, okay, well, would I want somebody coming into the metaphorical home? Would I want somebody coming into my home and telling me what to do and what not to do and how to do it and how not to do it and if it was good or if it was bad because this is my home. So
Well,
that
there's a difference. Yeah. There's
is
a difference, though, between your private residence and the public sphere. And,
mhm,
like, if you're part of a society, part of being part of that society is you agree to adhere to the general rules and cultural and social norms of that society. Otherwise, you shouldn't be there. Like, that's just how it is. I mean, if you don't like it, why are you there? So, like, the vast majority, for example, of immigrants in the United States that you talk to, when things like crazy things like this happen, and let's say they're from this country,
mhm,
they reject it, they hate it, and the reason is that's why they're here. They
exactly.
understand that that's fucked up. So, I mean, it's obvious to even people within that society or culture, and that's why they leave if they can. So I don't know.
Absolutely. And it's
Lasky's got to
God,
get.
this is gonna sound so hofty, but I really don't give a shit because I'm not going around slaughtering innocent people. So I do think that that does give me the moral authority to say your culture is shit because you're oppressing women and you're shaming them because they have their period every month and you're pushing them out of their own home into a shed to freeze to death or whatever it may be. So I as a 35-year-old woman can say that's bullshit and you need to cut it out. Just get over it. I mean, this is reality. You have to function with both sexes on a daily
Right.
basis if you're going to function in the first world. If you cannot do that, then you don't get to raise your hand and go, "Hey, my feelings are hurt because I can't generally mutilate my daughter." Well, guess what? You just talking about wanting to give your daughter the choice to have genital mutilation tells me right there that you are not capable of making these types of decisions. So this is at my pay grade, so I will take this job. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like that, but I do have to say, I don't tell people they should wear burqas. I don't tell people that they should pray 5 times a day or they're evil. I don't tell children that they should believe in something upon the fear of death or the fear of immortal pain. So yes, I'm a bit more morally. I have a bit more moral aptitude than the majority of the fucking population, it seems. So I'll take that job. Everybody, line up. Listen to Kari's awesome wisdom. I got this. Religion is shit. Leave it alone, and you'll be fine. There we go.
So yeah, no, okay. So Wasky in the chat says, "Is it immoral or is it moral to impose superior morality to prevent suffering?"
Oh.
Um, I'm not sure if this is quite what he's asking. So you can't really impose morality because ultimately it's up to the people to behave how they want to behave. It doesn't matter how totalitarian or authoritarian you get. You can't. But I think the general concept is, um, if it sounds like an interventionist question to me. So if that's wrong, go ahead and correct me. But the question sounds like basically should the United States act as world police, like that kind of thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's talking about.
Which okay, so I'm in the affirmative in that hardcore because first of all, I mean we're the only world superpower. We're one of the few nations on the planet that has the just raw power to do anything like this. So that automatically kind of falls on us as a possibility. But the other part of it is, and this is something Reese and I have talked about on Twitter before. It's a long time ago. It was, and someone else made this comment. It was great because I use this example all the time in ethics classes. It's when you are against foreign interventionism in the name of preventing suffering, you're that person that looks the other way when you see someone getting robbed. That's you.
Mm. Mm.
It is a moral imperative
Shit.
if you have the ability to prevent suffering and you don't do it, that is
You are culpable. You are culpable.
yeah, you are
Absolutely.
like by proxy, you are enabling it
Yep.
at the least.
And see, every time someone comes to me, either it be in real life because my own parents and my in-laws and stuff, even my own daughter, she's in the chat right now. Hi, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, Mom, why do you talk about these things? Why do you do what you do? And why do you take this kind of stuff onto yourself? And it's like, look, I can because I'm a female and I'm white and I have enough knowledge, enough basic knowledge of how the world works to be able to say, look, there's a problem over here. How about we talk about it? I'm not saying I'm any kind of like intellectual genius or anything like that. I mean, I think I'm just a basic rational human being. So I can
Well,
I
yeah.
have the freedoms to be able to do this kind of stuff. And if I turn my nose up at it, then I don't think I would be able to live with myself, you know? Um,
Yeah. No, I
It,
think you're right. I think it's also a moral obligation to speak up about it, which is why anytime I hear any kind of non-interventionist argument, I will immediately counter it.
I can't. I just can't deal with that. That tells me a lot about a person. If they say just
Yeah.
sit back and just let it play out, it's like no, I refuse to settle for that. I
Well, what
refuse.
pisses
I
me
refuse to
off,
be able to sit there and just think, okay, yep, I'm living in a first world country, doing fantastic. Meanwhile, there's somebody else out there that doesn't have the voice nor the platform that I do. It's a very tiny,
right?
tiny platform. Um, that if I open my big mouth and say something, it could help them in some way. I mean,
Right.
why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I mean, it couldn't. The least it could do is nothing,
Yeah.
and the most it could do is help someone. So yeah, why wouldn't you? What drives me nuts is someone that's just like very much on the left. Is I'm now in the minority these days.
What do you
That's just I find that ethically
what
deplorable.
do you mean? What do you mean
Like,
you're in the minority these days?
well, a lot of leftists are non-interventionists,
That's
and they
true.
say really ignorant things like, "We're going over there to take their oil." It's like, no, we secured Iraq's oil fields and gave them the profits from it to help rebuild their society. You don't know what you're talking about.
If we're
Um,
stealing their oil, I mean, Jesus Christ. If we were stealing
it
their
doesn't even
oil,
make
then
sense.
those countries would not be as wealthy as they are. I mean,
Well, first of all, like even if that were the case, almost all of our oil comes from Canada and Mexico
yeah,
and Venezuela.
exactly. Exactly. But
There's
they're talking about the Middle Eastern countries. They're not
yeah,
talking
well,
about Mexico and Canada. So that you know immediately where their mindsets is going. It's like no
right.
war. Everybody smoke some weed. Let's hug a tree. La 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 la
Yeah.
kumbaya. It's like okay, we get it. We were all in our teens and early 20s at one time and we thought we could save the world. Then adulthood ran smack right into our foreheads. And it's like, "Oh yeah, okay. Most people on this planet are assholes. Most people are not logical. Holy shit, panic mode. Time to get your head straight. Shake it off, shake it off. All
Yeah.
right. What is reasonable and what is not?" So they just
Well, we
haven't.
got to be reasonable about it too. I
Yeah,
mean, like, you can't just like I don't know. I mean, obviously, you don't want to just go around like taking over the world. I mean, that's not the
no,
point.
no, because that's how
It's
you make
like if a
enemies.
region, yeah, no, if a region is unstable, then yeah, you better get on that quick because not only is it a moral issue, it could be a national security issue for you down the road.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. People are like, just leave them alone. Just that's their culture, that's their religion, or whatever it may be that is theirs. They're like, leave them alone, let them do it. It's like, no, no. This we are a very very connected planet now. People that
Yeah.
are over there affect shit over here now, so we have no choice but to get involved. It's
Now, yeah, for me, the question is where's that line? Because yeah, there's always suffering somewhere in some culture. So uh, take this article we're talking about.
mhm.
So is this horrific? Obviously, yes. But we don't go over there and militarily or something like that to stop it. I mean, it's not at that scale. So it's not that we don't morally condemn it. It's just, is it worth it resource wise, et cetera? I mean, there's a whole other side to the politics of it. But that's what it is. So, like, other than stability issues, if you see something severe enough going on, so like, for example, Syria,
Mhm.
when their government was attacking their populace with nerve gas, yeah, it might be a good time to do something. That's kind of a big deal. So it's tricky, figuring out where the line is, but I'm not like across the board pro interventionist, but I'm not a pussy, I guess. I don't know what to say. Like
No, no,
there
I
are
no.
times where it's totally appropriate
It
to intervene.
absolutely is appropriate. I mean, the mindset that I try to keep is when I think about other people in other countries. Like I live in England now. I sometimes forget that I live in England, and it just kind of slips my mind because it's it's a very, very similar to the United States. Besides the different accents, of course, the English accent. But I do tend to forget, but I try to remind myself, okay, even though we are in England, just a couple streets away is where um, a a rape just happened. A gang rape just happened, and
Okay.
it was at the hands of one of the Muslim gang rape. It was a Muslim gang rape, okay, and it wasn't very far away from here. So it's really easy to separate yourself from that whenever you can kind of like close yourself in your own little internet bubble and stuff. So I try to remind myself, okay, there is somewhere another family that is probably sitting down for dinner or getting their kids dressed and or getting them bathed and getting them ready for bed and stuff like that. And all of a sudden they'll have a group of men or something rush into their house and take the daughters and kill the male family members and the sons or whatever it may be, and then take the wife and she'll be put into some sort of sex slave thing. And so that is still happening out there. So just for us to kind of, God, it's going to be a virtue signal, but this kind of stuff is necessary to talk about. Uh, and it's going to sound kind of virtue signaling, but I don't give a shit. There's people
No,
out there.
forget that.
There's
There's
people out there
appropriate times
suffering.
to do that.
Yeah, there's people out there suffering. We have the capability to help stop that suffering for future generations. Maybe not for this one, maybe not for the current one, but
Right.
we have the ability to make their future a little bit more stable and a little bit less violent. So we need to get in there and do it. Now, then that's going to bring us to the methods at which we do it. Now, what do we do once we get in there? That's when all the ethics and the morality and superior cultures, it comes right back around again. Is once you get in
Yeah.
there to these destabilized countries, and I'm not going to say Muslim, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say destabilized countries. You have to implement something, and most people are going to be like, "Oh, it's going to be the American way. It's going to be the American culture. You're going to bring in some McDonald's or some KFC and some Pizza Hut and blah blah blah." It's not even about that. It's just getting these people connected to the internet. Get them out of their bubble. Get them, allow them the ability to have free speech. It doesn't even necessarily need to be the American way, but obviously theirs is not working because they're fleeing and coming to all of the Western countries. So it's like they're coming here for a reason. They like it for a reason. Why wouldn't we take what we use here and put it there and just keep them there? Like give them all of those freedoms and stuff that they obviously want here. Bring them there. They don't have to leave. It's not such a culture shock for them. And everybody's happy. Kumbaya. See, I know
Hey.
I am the truth. Andy Worski is full of shit. Kari is the truth. I know. I know these. Okay. So anyway, go ahead. You're supposed to interrupt me. Stop reading the chat. Pay attention. You know, if you don't
there,
interrupt me, I'm going
there's
to
this.
keep going.
I always hesitate because something about you hosting or the way my mic works, there's like this slight
Yeah,
delay, so I'm
no.
always like cutting you off, and I feel like a jackass.
You're not.
Anyway,
You're not. No, cut me off. You have permission. You can cut me off. It's fine. Seriously.
so I guess one thing that came to mind was, um, so that's a big problem when you have any type of sort of like large scale immigration.
Let me ask a question to the chat real quick, or to if somebody is listening to this that isn't in the chat, I'm not aware of. If you are a leftist, if you identify as one of the SJWs, okay, um, can you please explain to me, just in any form you want to, hit me on Twitter, comment in the chat, comment below this video, whatever it may be. What is it about the American culture or Western culture that gets so stuck up your ass that you are willing to burn it to the ground? What part of it is it that you hate so much that you just want to just burn it all to the ground? I need to know the answer to these questions. I do. Let Wisty, just let Wisty talk. Just let him go. Um, let him get his venom out. He's fine, I promise, okay? So anyway, please somebody answer that question for me. It would be fantastic. What is it about America that makes you want to destroy its fundamentals? Please answer me. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Well, in regards to that, I could maybe give some insight just from people I, associate with or deal with,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
academic. It seems to be this sort of this impression of dominance. It doesn't. They don't interpret it as helpful. They see it as imposition. So, I mean, and that's hard to determine because unless you survey a population, which is next to impossible in something like a war-torn country or a nation state that's unstable, but I mean, what do you do with that? So that's why, like earlier, I was saying large-scale immigration is a problem because if you have like whatever baseline normal immigration you have in your country, wherever those people are emigrating from, they obviously don't want to be there. So that means they're going to be willing to adapt and assimilate into their new culture. That's what they want. But if it's some kind of crisis where it's like, we have all these people, we don't know what the hell to do with them, that's not going to work. That's when you get the usual chain reaction of, if they don't assimilate in enclaves, sort of group in group out group stuff, all that crap that leads to radicalization of any kind.
Okay, well, I kind of have a little theory on that myself since you brought it up. So whenever the conversation comes up about like the U.S. and stuff, and making sure that immigrants that are coming in are going to assimilate smoothly, we've seen the research, we've seen the science and the numbers and all the statistics behind it. That if you allow certain cultures to group up, certain groups of people to group up, that they're not going to be able to assimilate as smoothly or as easily. So, oh Jesus, I just lost my train of thought. I'm not even kidding. It's gone. It just vaporized in my brain. Okay. Oh, okay. I know what I was gonna say. So, if we keep those cultures like kind of separated or interspersed with other cultures, races, whatever it may be, the area that they're in, they're less likely to radicalize. But my theory on it is they're less likely to radicalize because there's less pressures on them from their community because their community isn't pushing whatever that ideology may be.
Right.
And they have more freedom to say how they really feel instead of saying what they think the person next to them wants them to say. So the two things when it comes to like the leftists, like, because I'm a liberal, I'm a classical liberal, a little bit of war hawk, but so I am on the left, but at the same time, it's like I can see the similarities between those two things. The leftists they're gonna promote Islam. They're gonna say it's a religion of peace and blah blah. And not one of them has picked up a damn Quran and looked into it, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Here's why.
Then you have the same thing with
it's in the West.
those little tight communities. They think they think the exact same way, and it's like the parallels are crazy.
Well, okay, so here's what I see going on just from research. So it's a combination of two things you talked about. So you have the people that want to defend Islam.
Mm-hmm.
In the West, it's because the Islam they know is in the West. It's a westernized Islam. It's not in the Middle East. It's way different. It's completely different. It's totally way more benign. So they think, hey, you're just picking on people. Fuck off. Like that's their attitude. So it's that. And then if you get a country where, let's say, you take in massive amounts of immigrants so they cannot assimilate, they won't. They only know.
Yeah, they don't have enough room.
One way of life.
They don't have enough room to be able to like do that. because they're
Well,
surrounded
that too.
they're surrounded by their own people basically, so they don't have enough room to be able to stretch themselves out because those pressures from their
Well, they
original
do that.
culture are still there. They're still
Well,
pushing on the
they
back of their neck.
yeah. Well, they do that on purpose. So okay. So for example, think if you
Hmm.
were transplanted into another country you knew absolutely nothing about,
Yeah.
not the language, barely the culture, nothing. You have no idea how to behave. All you know is where you came from. If you're put in that situation, you're going to feel vulnerable and weak and scared. You're not going to know how to act. So the most natural thing to do is find people like you
Yeah.
and stick together. So that's why. So you couple that with the sort of Western far leftist defense of Islam. They're defending what they see as like, hey, I know some Muslims. They're cool. They're not doing anything bad.
Hmm.
That's how they're thinking about it. But then if you're in a country that accepts like actual like Middle Eastern Muslims that are from a completely different type of culture
Yeah,
these
you
people are
have
thinking
no
of,
idea what the hell you're
they're
talking
defending,
about.
yeah, they're defending people and they don't realize what kind of people they are, like their practices. So that's why you get that weird like defense mechanism going on. It's like if you look at it like why how can you defend these people? That's why. So that you need to that's what happens if you accelerate well just about anything in a population or a government too fast, but especially with immigration. It's got to be slow enough to where they can assimilate even if it's not voluntarily. They'll do it subconsciously.
Hmm.
So
Well,
that's why.
it's such a tough conversation because I mean, uh, it's like if you could just take your brain out of your head and pop it into theirs for like 15 minutes. It would do like a hard reset, and then all of your info and stuff would stay in their head, and you put their brain back into their head, and everything's fine. It's like everything would just be okay. It's like you have no idea how chilled my brain normally is when I don't have people standing in front of me going, "You're gonna go to hell if you don't believe this. You racist." Islamophobic, homophobic, blah blah blah. Like, no, I love gays. I love them, love them, love them, love them. There's no way I could be homophobic. Not in the
I
industry.
haven't
Not in the industry I work in. I'm a makeup artist, by the way, people.
uh,
So I am forever surrounded by homos. Oh my god, not lesbians, homosexuals, gays, gay boys. They love to do some makeup.
yeah,
They love to make a heterosexual woman
hey now.
look fantastic. They do a good job too. They
Waiting for the comments in the chat about me. Anyway.
Wait,
um,
yes, 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 you, Mr. Metro. You're
um,
fabulous too.
mhm.
But so with the whole I think I segued into that pretty well, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
So the next topic, I think, are you ready to take a break yet, or do you want to keep going on this next topic because it's a video? It is head transplant.
that seems radically different topic wise. So maybe we should cut it here.
Yeah, we can.
What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no real like transmission or sorry
Uh,
transition.
Transition. No, I don't have a smooth one, so we can just we'll take our 5 minute break,
Okay, cool.
and then we will come back, and the next part's going to be a video, and it's really good. It's really interesting, and it really freaks me out. So you guys are going to get to hear me go, oh my god, because it's a head transplant story. So all right, guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
little MGK to entertain you.
Yep. So behave yourselves. So there'll be two songs. Yours will come up. Yours will come up in a minute. Don't get your panties in a
I,
wad.
uh,
We'll be back in a minute.
мені його. Кого, моя королево? Стрільця.
Hey, my walk is so cocky, the bouncers don't even stop me. Ain't no pat down, no ID. They know me, that shit I be. Bitch, I pack out the lobby just from fans trying to find me. I got daughters and mothers trying to fuck with the gunner. Two-tone suit like the Joker. My Harley Quinn wears a choker. Let them suicide dozer. So much smoke can't photo us. I'm out west like the Gold Rush. 1942 Poda. I ain't spent one night sober since I turned 20 years old, but I'm on my Jeezy in 2005. Trap or die shit. The everyday 100. This ain't no facade shit. This that look me in my eyes and don't you fucking lie shit. Still don't need no opinions, bitch. Most these artists my minions. Whoa. Yeah, any weed around me finna get bought. No lie, I'm on fire. Hard time, anybody need a realization that they fucking with the wrong guy. I am the Alpha Omega, came from Sonic on the Sega, crumbling chronic on the table. Mumbling lyrics in the basement like I'm finna go Super Saiyan. I'm saying I ain't have a plan, coming out the land, hanging with my man, trying to slang a gram just to rent a van, just to try and tour. Turn some common clothing into couture, steal money from the sewer. Look at all that I've endured, all them years I couldn't afford. Friends that's in the morgue, we are not the same. Say the fucking name. I am the gunner. I am the gunner. I am the gunner. I am the gunner. Let's do this for real. Hey. Supersonic, psychedelics and some chronic. Still remain a trending topic. 5 movies, let's be honest. What you call it, that's a major motion picture wallet. No, I do not wanna comment. Don't approach me, I am violent. Snapping pictures cause I'm styling. Let me make it very fucking clear who I am. Do not start assuming. Let me clear confusion. I am not a human, they call me a giant. I pick up the mic and I start a riot. I spit a verse and I change the climate. Fuck a dealer, man, I need the pilot. Drop the weight off like he on a diet. Hanging off at the balcony of the Hyatt. I started with one and I multiplied them. Now I got me 3 women like Frankie Lyman. And I got me a double X made in diamonds. Bitch, the dynasty never dying. Someone ring the sirens, I just broke the silence. I just sparked a louder. Who the fuck can stop us? I resort to violence, no resorts and honors. You know where to find us. I am the gunner. I am the gunner. I am the gunner. I am the gunner.
Oh, Ricky, are you there? He's not back yet. Oh no, I am all alone. What shall I do? Oh, maybe the chat.
I am.
Oh, look, there's the chat.
Little delay.
Chris is here. Hi, he finally came over again. He must not be at work tonight. Guys, I mean, seriously, with the chat, I really am not worried about that guy. I'm just not. I mean, it's just typical online drama.
No, let's keep it out.
I know.
Productive conversation's nice. We don't need that bullshit.
Yep. Nope. Go ahead. Just delete away. Don't ban him. Just stick his ass in timeout. If he wants to have good conversation where there's no drama involved, I'm game. But if it's not going to be that, I'm not interested. That's why I
It's
mute.
a very simple rule. You
Yeah.
act like an adult, you're fine.
Yep. We have no problem. If you have a personal problem with me, you people know my email. You know where my DMs are. Hit me up. I might answer you. So anyway, so yes.
AI transplants, I think you said. Is that what you said?
That
head
is.
transplants?
Yeah, it's gonna be a head transplant. So that's the whole thing. Me and my daughter, we sat and watched this, and then another following it last week, and it's really, really interesting. The guy does have a little bit of an accent, but he's you can understand him. You don't need subtitles or anything. But it's really interesting. So this guy is going to be, he's a neurosurgeon, and he's going to be doing the first human head transplant surgery on this other gentleman who has a degenerative disease. I believe it's muscular dystrophy. And so he's perfectly sound in the mind. It's just his body's wasting away. And so
sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's excuse me. So he's volunteered for it, and they're going to do it in December 2017. And it should bring up some very interesting conversations, especially when it comes to the religious aspect of it, because you're putting another person's head onto another person's body, basically, or not basically, like literally. So the whole soul conversation will come up and all that good stuff. So I can't wait. And it's absolutely exciting. We have the capabilities to do this type of stuff now, and it's fucking fantastic. And I'm so excited. So anyway, so this is a video, and Ricky, I'm gonna uncheck it, and you can have control of it. So anytime, because I've seen this video like 3 times already, because it's just freaking awesome. And I wanted to watch it a couple times. And it is a TED Talk, so everybody control your triggers. All right, don't freak out. There's no propaganda.
Real quick though, so this is a great example of something I've been wanting to say for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we've been talking about how we can sort of basically hand wave Christianity away these days as a concept. Yeah. But we can't take our eyes off Christians, because there are people in places of power that are doing things like defunding bio research.
I know.
Things like, stem cells.
Exactly.
Just a whole slew of really crucial things that could save lives. So just keep that in mind. It's not over.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely not over. Annie. Okay. So Annie just made a comment in the chat. She said, "Guess who's going to die in December? The guy getting the head transplant." Dude, let's keep a positive outlook. We want this to work out. Come on. Put your cynicism away.
If the rest of his body rejects his head.
Don't. Don't. Just stop.
No. Yeah. I don't see this going well. The nervous system is no.
No.
All right.
Stop it. Let's do the video.
All right.
Are you sitting tight? I'm about to give you one hell of a ride. First of all, I will give you all no eyes. We will certainly prove that all the experts know is wrong, and show that transplanting a head onto a new body is feasible in man. No less. Many years ago, a young doctor lost one of his best friends to cancer. But this was no ordinary doctor. He was a brilliant American neurosurgeon who believed that perhaps had he been able to transplant the healthy head of his friend, unscathed by the cancer, on a healthy donor body, he would have saved his life. In 1970, Dr. White carried out the first head body transplantation of monkeys. But the problem was that at the time, it did not have the technology to rejoin a severed spinal cord, and so left the animal paralyzed. Over the past 35 years, researchers from all around the world set out to find a cure for spinal paralysis. Despite high hopes and many promising leads, they all failed. Thus, in the experts' opinion, reconstructing the spinal cord is impossible, and so is head transplantation. But something has happened. There's a new kid in town, Gemini. I give you the spinal cord fusion protocol, and your lives won't be again the same.
I love how dramatic he is with the way that he talks. And your lives will never
when he just
be
said that, I
the
was
same.
like, "There's no way this dude's straight."
Oh God, he's fantastic. I just love to hear him talk because he's so entertaining to hear because he's just obviously English isn't his first language, so he is doing it. He is enunciating to the T. He is doing it.
And the way he's paused right now, he looks like Leon from Leon the Professional. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
The movie Leon the Professional.
No.
He trains a young girl to become an assassin. Anyway.
No,
Never
I'm
mind.
not a movie nerd. Sorry. We need a foghorn whenever that happens. All right, here we go. Dramatic pause.
According to traditional neurological lore, movements are generated in the brain, where both the orchestra, the motor orchestra, and her director lie.
Look, he has an emoji. He has an emoji with a bullhorn. Holy cow.
From here, impulses are conveyed to the spinal cord through a specialized motor highway, a bundle of 1 million fibers, all of them necessary for movements to occur.
I'm sorry, but that number sounds suspiciously exact. 1 million. It's not like 1,256,000 whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that an approximation, or is my bullshit flag is kind of going up?
Just like spaghetti. And for movements to occur, you really need all of them. In the spinal cord, the spaghetti come in contact with specialized cells called motor neurons. These are the cells that make you move. If this were the true story, I wouldn't be here. But the story is plenty different. I welcome you to heaven, the head anastomosis venture. And the world will never be the same again. Spinal cord injury has nothing to do with severing a spinal cord, the way we will do when we'll detach the head from the body.
Okay, so that is so disturbing whenever he's just... So this is the man that's going to be doing the surgery. I know he seems a little bit goofy and stuff, but he is literally going to be removing the head of a human being, and it literally, it makes me weak. It like makes my hands go weak just to even think about that. Like, it really gets to me. But this stuff fascinates the hell out of me, so it's like, just to think that he's going to be removing the head of a human, and it's going to continue to function and live and all that on another body. I mean, just imagine this man, if this goes successfully, he is going to wake up with another friggin' body.
Yeah, and how is your brain not going to just completely flip out and not know what to do?
I mean,
I'm
not
sorry,
even
that just doesn't sound right.
not even like the mechanics of what's going to happen. Okay, I mean just the psychological part of it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's like it's kind of like that. It's making me think of that Jordan Peterson clip I sent you about autists,
Yeah.
where it's like you change one little thing, they can't extrapolate out. They just see a completely different environment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every time, like when this person wakes up, it's not the environment even necessarily. It's like their body. Like everywhere they go, it doesn't matter what. Even if they function okay, like how's that going to work? So like right now, I've told a few of you, I'm going through really intensive physical therapy. I'm
Yeah.
basically relearning to walk. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to like moonwalk like Michael Jackson when you were little or something, but that amount of concentration, that's what it takes to do this every
Yeah.
time I move. So that's what the body I'm familiar with. So I'm just even if this works biologically,
Yeah, because this
it's
man,
like,
the
let's
man
say
that they're going to be
somehow
doing
this
this on, he's
works.
been in a wheelchair. I'm sorry, I'm totally talking over you, but he's been in a wheelchair for pretty much his entire adult life. So he doesn't even have like the memory in his brain to remember like the functions of walking and stuff like that. So it should be interesting, and I know what you're talking about, but it's just like just thinking of it on this surface level idea, not going too deep. They're going to be
Yeah,
taking the head
like
off of a person and putting it on the body of another person. Jesus.
yeah. I
Just
mean, I'm
that
just
thought.
like, even without the bio knowledge, like, I mean, I have some very basic, like rudimentary biology knowledge, but like even without that, I'm just like, there's a million things in my head right now, just going, what the fuck? There's no way this is going to work. All
I don't know.
right, let's see what
I don't
happens.
know. We'll see. I mean, because like I said, I've watched this and I've watched a couple other things on it too. Because they go through, it's just they drain the blood out, they lower the temperature of the head, like they get it really really cold, put it into hypothermic state and stuff like that. So it's just, oh god, he gets into that. Okay, I'll go.
Spinal cord
How are the okay?
injury releases 26,000 newtons of force. This is spinal cord injury. It's unrecoverable. This is what happens in Gemini. Hop. The very sharp blade that will be used will release less than 10 newtons of force. That banana can be brought back to life, but this can. The
What?
second eye opener.
Okay, so basically what he's saying there is it's easier to repair a cut or an incision than it is to repair an injury. Because there's like a lot of force that goes into a spinal cord injury, like if you get in a car accident or something like that. So it's like an explosion, whereas if you cut, it's just one single pass. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's gonna work or whatever that may be, but that's basically what he's saying.
I'm just thinking like, okay, so I used to do tech stuff, and I still do a little bit, but I used to be way more hardcore about it. And there's some similarity to fiber optic
Yes.
cable
Yes.
and your nervous system. It is unbelievably difficult to splice fiber optic cable. I mean,
Well, the whole thing with
I don't
the
even know how to describe it
nerves.
to you. So like
Well, no,
this, if it's
with those
anything like
nerves, they
this,
do regenerate. They do. They can regenerate if they're not
yeah,
if they're not exposed to a trauma of like that kind of a magnitude. Now, who's to say he's not going to slip or screw up whenever he's cutting that and
well,
cause trauma?
yeah.
But
I'm getting the impression though that it would have some kind of impediment. So, for example, again with the fiber, so like if you manage to successfully splice fiber, you still have, even though, because you're okay, so you're basically melting glass really accurately. That's how you do it.
yeah,
And so like that's why I'm drawing this parallel, is because it seems kind of like what's going on. But when you do that, even if it's still a successful connection, like even if you make all the right connections perfectly, because it's not the original sort of continuous like makeup of the fiber, there's impediments to it. It screws up the signal.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So like your nervous system is an electrical signal, just like this is. I mean, this is light, but it's a little bit different. But I don't see how this is going to like not in any way fuck with it. Like I'm not even into bio at all, and I'm already going, there's no way. So I don't know.
Well, the parallel they're making is with whenever they reattach like limbs, arms, hands, fingers, and stuff like that. The nerves are able to reattach. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's 100%, but they've seen it happen. So I believe it was done on that monkey, where they did see it come back together, but they didn't. I mean, they euthanized it like a day after the surgery, so it's not like they gave it enough time to see just how far the regeneration or the reconnections would go. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, all I got to say is the man that's doing this, that's donating his head, because he's not donating his body, he's donating his head. He's a brave individual, because he's terminal, by the way. So the man that's going to be doing this, he's terminal. He doesn't have a lot of time left to go. His heart and stuff like that is starting to deteriorate a lot, and they won't give him a heart transplant because he has a degenerative muscle disease. So his muscles are going to deteriorate. But I mean, that's another thing. I mean, he does have that disease. So I mean, they're going to be taking his neck muscles and stuff like that and attaching that to that other body. I mean, is that going to spread?
What does he have? Muscular dystrophy or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So I mean, I'm missing a lot of like really technical information on the biology side, but I'm just thinking like, so when you get an organ transplant, as far as I know, it's not the same thing as your brain in the sense that it's involved in a continuous process. Like your brain works because the neurochemistry is continuously going.
Right.
So it's kind of like when you're running. If it's a process, if you stop, it's over. It's not like a liver or something where you could just like suspend it, and until you need it and then, resume. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong because I don't really know the bio stuff more, but that's what it sounds like to me. Anyway.
All right. I'll let him keep going.
Is that the spinal cord is no slave. The whole motor orchestra, the whole array of motor programs that make you move is found in the spinal cord. The brain is merely a director, and we all know that an orchestra can still play without a director, albeit perhaps less perfectly.
Whoa.
Depending.
No. As someone who's directed an orchestra, he's wrong. Sorry. That's a great metaphor, and he's wrong. Things go horribly wrong. They become unbelievably disorganized until they fall apart. So, yeah, I'm going to agree with him on that.
Depending on the director. How do we know? Well, if we stimulate electrically with the spinal cord stimulator, the spinal cord below the level of injury, we can make paraplegic patients stand up, move their legs, and take steps. This is huge. Electricity, just like in the Frankenstein novel. We just need 10, 20%. How do we know? Easy. Back in the 50s, neurosurgeons, in their quest to find a cure for Parkinson's disease, severed this bundle of spaghetti, motor highway 1, and after an initial paralysis, patients recovered their movements in full, with just 10-20% of all the spaghetti, of all these fibers, spared. The fourth eye-opener is that discovered in the first half of the 20th century and then long ignored by the experts lies a second motor highway, a pillar spanning the whole length of the spinal cord, a meshwork of closely packed cells joined by short-range fibers. And when you sever the spinal cord, you sever the short-range fibers. But neurons, as they are called, are known to regenerate their extensions. And in motor highway 2, the regeneration is over a very short distance. So it takes a short time for motor highway 2 to be reestablished, back in business. But we still have the spinal cord stimulator. And spinal cord stimulation, electrical stimulation, has the power to accelerate the regrowth process of these short-range fibers. If we sever the spaghetti, all of them, but spare the core of the spinal cord, we can get tetraplegic patients to recover the movements over months and in full after about 1 year, because motor highway 2 takes over the full brunt of supporting the motor traffic between the brain, the director, and the motor neurons. At this point, we need a magic ingredient.
Okay, Ricky, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you know how disappointing it is to sit and watch and listen to something like this with other smart people? Because you totally just shot down my excitement for this. Because I'm sitting here listening to him with a completely different perspective now, going, this is totally not going to work. And I hate you for it, you bastard.
You are not anywhere near the
crush
first person.
my dreams, you friggin' asshole. I can't do it. I'm just sitting here going, this isn't good. God damn it.
It's a plus, Emily.
Thank you.
Also notice, all I've heard thus far from this guy is nothing but metaphors.
Stop it.
I mean, are we going to get any kind of technical stuff? I mean, what the hell?
Well, he is on TEDx. There are more videos. Okay, but we are on TEDx, and he only has a certain amount of time, so, but it's just to get your appetite wet and get you interested in, like it did with me. Yeah. It pushed me to look at the other things that he's put out and stuff like that, so it's pretty interesting. Yeah. But
it's interesting.
Damn you!
We'll see how it goes.
Damn you! You bastard! Why? But no, sorry, I do appreciate. I know. I appreciate it. Though. Challenging fuck.
Special class of substances called fusogen sealants. And the best known example of a fusogen sealant is polyethylene glycol, PEG. PEG is everywhere. You have it on you, especially the females. This morning, I was at the beach, getting me sunshine, and...
Getting me sunshine. I love it. I love it. I want to give him a hug. I bet he tells the best drunk stories in the world. In English. By the way, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he would probably make a good bedtime story.
Oh my God, yes. We need to put in a request for him to read a story and do it online. Like something that's really boring, like the Iliad or something, and just get him to read it. And it would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. Is that out yet? Has anybody done the Iliad on audiobook yet? I haven't even looked at it.
That's a long ass book, but it's been around forever. So.
Yeah, no, but still.
So is this guy French? Because
He's Italian. He's Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's like definitely some kind of romance accent, but
Yes.
I can't quite make it out.
He's Italian. He's freaking fantastic. I mean, he is entertaining to sit and watch talk. That's for sure.
What was he talking about? Oh shit, I can't think of the substance. It was some kind of polyglycol.
Yeah.
And he's saying it. It's everywhere, and it's like
on females.
Well,
No, he said it's on females.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that he said especially. Yeah. Okay. Well, so what? I mean, there's plenty of things that are like that. How is that a viable? I don't get it.
No, I'm just reading the chat. It said, did he say antifreeze?
That's pretty much what he's talking about.
All right, okay.
Different...
Let's let him finish this little thought. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Play it.
PEG is found in sun lotions. Right there. Found in skin creams women apply before gonna sleep. It's found in your printers as a lubricant for the print heads. And believe me, it is an excellent lubricant for medical purposes.
Almost antifreeze.
I did not think he was going to say medical purposes.
Shit.
Okay, so this is making me think of. I think you saw it, Kari. I'm not sure. I know Annie definitely saw it.
Yeah.
But there was something going on Twitter where someone was talking about baking soda. There were hospitals, I think is what it was, were running out of medical grade sodium and different types of.
No, I didn't.
Soda.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so people were talking about, well, here's how you can easily make baking soda from these other like really simple ingredients. And it's like, yeah, but that's not the same thing. It's like a...
Are you there? Hello? Ricky? Oh, crap. I think I lost him. Oh, no. Can't hear you, man. Be right back. Okay. All right, so, yeah. Thanks for bailing on me, man. Uh-oh, okay. I heard a little bit of sound. Nope, nothing yet. I heard a little click and a little pop.
Hello.
Oh, there's some sound. No. No, no sound yet. Good gracious, man.
I'm coming.
Oh, there you are. Speak.
Okay. I had a feline unplug the second laptop and I didn't notice. Anyway.
Oh no, bad kitty.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Hang on, you're really staticky. Hang on.
Okay.
Kind of play with it a little bit.
All right.
Okay, that sounds better. Say something.
Okay. Cool. Oh yeah, so it's not the same thing. I mean, yeah, they have common, chemical reactions and whatever you want to call it, elements or
ingredients. Oh Jesus, you are so muffled now.
Muffled for the max. Let me see what's going on.
Yep, just a little bit. Okay. Play with. No, it's still bad. All right, I'll let him finish talking. Play with that for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
And PEG has the uncanny ability to reconstitute damaged biomembranes, and it has been under our and the experts' noses for decades now. The first application dates back to 1986. Fiber, severance, joined together the stumps with PEG, reconstituted. The first application on the spinal cord dates back to 1999. Right now, PEG can rejoin severed peripheral nerves in men without the need for perfect alignment of the fibers. 2 months ago, a German group made the point much more clearly. They removed the scar from spinally injured rats. And the rats went from paralysis to walking again within a few weeks. Heaven, Gemini, is going to work. Heaven was meant to be the solution for intractable neurological disorders, muscular dystrophies, muscle wasting disorders that leave you immobilized in a bed, but with a clear mind. It was meant for tetraplegia and a host of other disorders for which Western medicine has no solution at all. In this case, you would transplant the healthy head detached from the sick body onto a brain-dead donor, just like you see for ordinary garden variety organ transplantation. Instead of donating the heart, the lungs, this donor, who is brain dead, would donate the entire body. But something happened along the way that redirected heaven and widened its scope, and in so doing changed your lives forever.
Life-changing shit again.
Forever. This sounds infomercial. I'm sorry. Like earlier when he was cutting the banana,
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to be like, and this set of knives can be yours for just $14.99.
He's just very theatrical in the way that he speaks. He's very enthusiastic about the things he is saying.
I think it goes beyond that. To me, this guy sounds like he's not just enthusiastic, he's trying to persuade in a not...
Well, it's a hell of an idea. I mean...
Sure.
Oh.
I don't mean like, hey, you're probably not going to believe this kind of way. I mean like, he wants you to believe it for a reason that he's not willing to divulge or something. That's the tone I'm getting.
All right, gotcha.
Pace and getting from his vocals. Anyway.
All right, he's going to get into the science of how they're going to do this. So,
there's science. Okay,
pay attention. Cool. Here's a good part.
3 years ago, a Russian billionaire founded the Avatar Initiative with the goal of cybernetic immortality. By 2025, Avatar aims at transplanting a brain onto a cybernetic body. The problem is that if you transplant an aging brain onto whatever you want, the brain remains aged. But heaven upends this gloomy scenario. In heaven, the brain, the head, would be transplanted on a young donor body. Data accrued since the 1950s prove that if you inject blood from a young animal into old animals, you trigger a rejuvenating cascade of the muscles, the heart, and the brain. Imagine a world where life extension becomes the norm.
Are you paying attention? Because we're going to talk about artificial intelligence in a minute.
I can tell he's building up to it.
But the problem is that, happily, there is a dearth of suitable donors. But fancy this. If in this century, cloning currently highly inefficient procedure and slow, gets perfected and accelerated, you will all get a new young you, and this new young body, whose head will be removed, and your old head will be reattached because your memories, your personality is in the old one, then you will get a boost another 40 years.
What?
Not bad for something that just costs 10 million euros.
Did you hear that?
There are also rebates.
This surgery costs 10 million euros. I don't know how
Which
much.
is
I don't know
like-
how much that translates into American dollars, but holy shit!
Almost.
But I mean, a
So
new
what?
young body, and it advances you, or it can give you 40 additional years. I mean, it's just like what?
Hey, though, wait. So if you died, you get your money back?
No, you just die. You're just dead. Gone. It's over. Okay, so I have a weird question, and it just popped into my head, but I have to ask you people since we have the chat is live. So has anybody ever thought about like if two conjoined twins, if one of them dies, what happens to the other? Like if they share a major part of their body, like their abdomen or something, or like they're conjoined twins that absolutely positively could not be separated at all, or they'd both die. Like what happens to the other one that doesn't die?
I would imagine it depends on how they're conjoined.
So think about that.
Because, because I remember this was a long time ago, so maybe I'm not recalling correctly, but there was a successful separation, for example, of conjoined twins, but I think they were connected at the head actually, but I'm not quite sure what the results were. Not one of them died, but to me that's indicative of maybe, like, I don't know, maybe the non-separation would make it not possible to sort of like regenerate things that the living one would. I don't know. I guess it depends on what parts of you are conjoined with the other person.
Yeah, say it's just like you share, I don't know, share like a main ventricle or something to the heart, and if you split them up, then the one that just died, it would have died if they'd been separated. So, do they cut away the dead? Oh God! I mean, so
I would think
there isn't any. I don't think there's any kind of examples of that yet. Like, what do they do? But there's a conjoined twins right now, Abby, and I don't know what her other name is, but they look like they have one body and two heads, but it's two halves of a body of two separate. It's one half of two separate bodies, but they're connected. They share a heart, or they share a lung, and they share their stomach and like half their digestive system or something. Oh, and their spine.
Huh.
So,
Whoa.
what's going to happen? Or they have separate hearts. So it's like with something like that. So
that's more promising.
So it's like, what are they going to, like, well, what if one of them gets a brain tumor or something like that, Those are the kind of questions that play through my head. I know it's weird, but thinking about this just kind of triggered that kind of triggered that. I've had that thought before, but it's just like, what the hell?
No, that's I love thinking of stuff like that. I don't know. I would imagine there's some kind of baseline necessities that the human body needs on its own, like not conjoined twins. So, like, for example, you can function without both of your kidneys.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Something like that. Whereas, okay, we can like separate it in such way where it would still either be both functional or the one that's dead is not going to affect the living one. But I would imagine that there's going to be like some kind of like type of
okay. So what if one of those girls
where you couldn't do that?
Yeah. What if one of those girls had a stroke? Like, what if she had if she had a stroke and like lost function of like control of her neck, and she was alive, or maybe she needed, I don't know, a little bit of support or something.
Well, if they have two hearts, let's say one of them goes into cardiac arrest, the other heart's not going to be strong enough to circulate everything for the other
shit,
body, I
yeah,
would imagine.
yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know, but I don't know. It seems very situational.
I know, but is it? I mean, it's morbid to think about, and it's not a pleasant thing to think about, but it's interesting. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
No, I
there
don't
was the chat's talking about Chang and Ang, the Vietnamese, the twins, I believe they were.
Yeah.
They were attached at the
Yeah.
abdomen, and one died, and then of course the other one died. But they were attached at the abdomen, so they were sharing some
Right.
major organs and stuff. So that's pretty explaining. But I mean, in the situation, like one of them has a stroke, their heart's not affected or anything like that, but it affects their function and their quality of life, basically, like a person who has a stroke. So, but the other person, the sibling, their brain's still functioning fine, and their half of the body's still functioning fine, which is controlled by their brain. So it's like, what in the hell? Wonder how paranoid they are about shit like that. Like, do they smoke and stuff like that? Like, to super take care of themselves and don't eat
Or
junk food.
What if like one smokes and the other one doesn't?
Oh god. I don't even want to think about the sex life thing. I can't. I can't.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait, hold up. So, okay, this might be an interesting parallel. So, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of these guys. They call themselves the ATL twins. They're twins. They're not conjoined or anything, but they're two guys, they're brothers, and they function as if they're like one person. They do literally everything together. So, like,
Oh god.
anything
Don't.
eat, shower, relationships, everything. And it's like, it's
That's
this
just
weird.
That's just weird.
This psychological connection they have is really interesting. So it just makes me wonder how much of a difference there would be. I mean, obviously there's a difference between organ functions, but
Yeah.
mentally.
Well, the two girls that I'm talking about, they are the same way. Like when it comes to psychologically, they finish each other's sentences like they're identical twins. So they do all the crazy
That's how deep these are.
stereotypical twin stuff, and it's awesome to sit there and watch them like when they do interviews, to see them bounce back and forth off of each other, and they reprimand each other just with like little tiny noises or motions with their eyebrows and stuff. Like, it's hilarious to watch. I mean, because imagine spending that amount of time and proximity with another person. But that's all they know, I guess, so it wouldn't be weird to them. Oh, God. Here goes the circular thing. All right. He's got just a few more minutes, and we'll let him finish up.
All right. For billionaires. But heaven is much more. As you all know, there are many patients who are reanimated after a heart arrest, brought back to life. And several of these report what is called a near-death experience. They see tunnels of light. They feel like they are in another world, which is more real than this one. Now, according to materialist science, this is the product of a dying brain that is being revived. Now, I belong to a group of scientists who believe otherwise, who believe that the brain is only a filter, does not generate consciousness. Now, during the transference of the head on the new body, the head will be cooled to 10 degrees Celsius and will be bloodless.
See, this is the part I'm excited about, that this guy, hopefully he will regain consciousness and be able to like relay whatever, because whatever it is that happens or he remembers or recalls or whatever it may be, it's going to be interesting as hell. I mean, I don't think he's going to have any sort of a supernatural revelation or anything, but this whole experiment that's going to take place in December with this is going to open a plethora of conversations when it comes to like human consciousness and the soul and where it resides and and all that. I cannot wait for it because it is going to throw Christian apologetics into a bonfire with a highly flammable accelerant on top of it if this succeeds. So yeah, well, even if it doesn't succeed, it's going to bring up it's going to bring up all those ethical, theological questions of the soul and all that good stuff. So
Okay, so did I miss something? Because he was talking about depriving the brain of oxygen.
yeah,
How the hell is that going to work?
I don't know. He's going to keep going. When they lower the temperature is where the key is. You know, like if somebody goes into hypothermic or goes into a hypothermic state, and then they slowly warm them back up, they can live.
Well, as far as I know, I mean, you could do that, but you still need some. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, like, the lower the temperature, the less oxygen you would need, but you still need some. You can't have none.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound right.
It will be as dead as it gets, clinically gone. Now, I expect that upon reawakening, the subjects will report a full-blown near-death experience. When this happens, we will have final proof that once you die, once the brain dies, consciousness survives. And again,
Whoa. Hold up. No. Okay, so we already know what near-death experiences are. There's nothing supernatural about it. It's completely understood what the brain is going through when that happens. And that's a hell of a claim. How on earth? I mean, consciousness is a byproduct of your brain. That's not going to... Like, I don't even know what to say to that. That doesn't make any sense. Am I missing something? I don't know.
I think he's relating...
No consciousness. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think he's relating consciousness maybe to being awake. I think.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, consciousness is a byproduct of a functioning brain.
Yeah.
So if your brain's cryogenically frozen or whatever you want to call it that this guy's talking about, that means you're not you lose the consciousness. It's gone. So he seems to be
conflating maybe
in a way. You can't separate those two things. It's not how it works. So if you stop the brain, you stop the consciousness, and if you start it back up, then you start the consciousness back up. Let's say that's possible. So I don't understand how you can claim that it's somehow a continuation of it. Like, no. That's all I have to say. That is no. I mean, it's okay. So I guess the way I'm thinking about it is, if consciousness is someone riding a bicycle, like the process of riding a bicycle, and then they fall off the bike, and then they get back on and start riding again. They're not on the same original trip that they were on. It's a new trip because you fell. Like, that's how I'm thinking about it. So
okay.
I don't
See, this is why I wanted you to watch this video.
In the end, before we all go truly bananas, including the experts who blasted heaven and now see their funds in jeopardy, we must all remember the words of a great revolutionary, Gandhi. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so what the hell does social conflict have to do, like the Gandhi thing?
He's not talking about social conflict. He's talking
Well, that's
about.
what Gandhi was talking
I
about. Like,
know.
yeah, like this guy is just a showman. There's no. I'm sorry. This is not going to go anywhere. I would be blown away if this is like a thing that actually worked and happened.
I hope it does.
I mean, sure, it'd be interesting and cool. It would progress things, but I mean, ignoring the fact that he said literally nothing about how it works biologically. He just used a bunch of metaphors that didn't really tell you much. Which, don't get me wrong, metaphors are good for teaching mechanisms, but that's only if you provide the actual information too. And he
Yeah.
didn't really do that. And then the rest of it was just kind of like, wouldn't this be cool? And it's like, yeah, it would be. What, like, are you going to tell us anything about it? I don't know. He just comes off like a showman to me. I don't know. What did you think? What's your impression of this dude?
I mean, I definitely think that he's definitely trying to sell the idea. I mean, he's obviously in a room of his peers, and I'm saying that with the quotation marks, his peers. So he does have a friendly crowd in front of him. So put on a show. I could agree. I can see it. But I'm not quite as optimistic about it now as I was freaking before. Thanks.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I would be. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was doing this to sort of fish for funding.
No, it's all of it is pretty much already funded. Well, maybe he's trying to get something for some other thing. That's a good that's
like
a good possibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
just a guess, but I don't know. You would think. I mean, I understand that it's TEDx and it's also geared towards the public, but it seems severely lacking substance to me.
there's a little bit more
Like
science behind it. Available on the internet and stuff. He does do another talk, and it's like an actual a scientific lecture, and he goes into much more detail and stuff about. But I didn't want to go through that because it's like 2 hours long. So
oh, jeez.
yeah, so I grabbed
Yeah,
this. I grabbed this one instead.
I'd be interested to look at it, like when I have time, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be able to like look at it from say like my normal analytical like philosophical point of view, but if it's too much bio, I probably wouldn't be able to get into it as far as understanding if it would work or not. But yeah, interesting either way.
Okay, so earlier today in one of the chats that we're part of, there was a conversation going on about artificial intelligence, and
Oh yeah.
when it comes to like where we're headed, like societally, it's coming up pretty quickly. So all of this talk about religion and stuff of that nature, and morality and immorality and ethics and stuff. I think we should probably be focused on the technological side of things instead of all these theology conversations, because it seems like this is getting pretty serious to where the machines are going to be making the decisions of.
Well.
Am I being a bit hysterical, or am I reading this correctly?
No, I was going to say I think you have the order backwards, because the problem isn't so much the discovery aspect of it. Unfortunately, research and development costs a lot of money, and people that would be willing to stop that are the religious and even not some non-religious ethicists, like bioethicists, the stuff that I was going to do for a while and I could still do. That has to happen. That hurdle has to be cleared, because the rest of it's irrelevant if you don't. If you don't have the funding to do it, it's dead in the water. Now, this guy, one reason that he may luck out, so like some Western countries, more Eastern European countries, and then even further Eastern, even though it's kind of sketchier, there's not nearly as many types of regulations and stuff like that on medical research and practice. And also there's less religious influence. So that's one thing you could leverage to say like that's a big, that's like a common tactic. Like when I was talking to some of my bio friends is an easy way to sort of persuade someone that's kind of on the fence about funding something ethically. It's like, well, it's going to happen no matter what because the Chinese, for example, will do it. And so we might as well beat them to it. So you got to clear that hurdle, unfortunately, before anything happens because, I mean, the bottom line is you need money. And you need it from the government. You can't get it from private individuals. You need government funding. There's not enough people in the public. You have to crowdsource it through the government. But yeah.
It's all terrifying.
Yeah,
It's all terrifying to me. I mean, just to think that. Oh, is it gonna get to the point where we're like a microchip? Our consciousness is like a microchip that's gonna just be placed into bodies and therefore will be immortal?
I wouldn't describe it that way, but so for what I know, so you have the actual consciousness part, which is the process I talked about earlier. And then you're interpreting what we call in epistemology sense data, which is just anything that your senses are collecting and then your brain is, putting together to try and make sense of. And that's why if you're missing some information, your brain kind of makes it up because it's trying to make sense of it. So that's those are core functions of a human brain. I don't see, you're left with, other than that, as far as I can tell, as primary functions, you're left with memories.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like it would be out of those three things, it seems like that would be the easiest thing to synthesize, synthetically,
Kind of like a hard drive or something?
Yeah, it'd be similar, but yeah, that kind of, the function of that, yeah.
Okay.
So something to you could access like that maybe, or even probably a better way would be something like a network, like a sub-internet or something like that.
Oh my God! So then that brings it to the question up of if we have a way to store that, then who's gonna pick who's next in line? Okay, who's coming up for this next generation and stuff?
Right.
So
okay, so yeah, that's one thing. That was another part of sociology I look at is the technological aspect that we're dealing with now, and that's one thing is you have to look at socioeconomic barriers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that there's a method developed that's similar to the way the internet originated.
Oh, your mic just got really clear. Holy crap!
Whoa. Okay. Am I okay?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
So let's say that happened, and so now everything's essentially cloud-like. So anything you would want to know, you could just think of in the same way that you would look it up on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to cost something. And that means poor people aren't going to have access to that, which means there's going to be a huge gap in inequality, really fast.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is going to be essentially way smarter, way more capable of things. Just everything the internet enables, they're going to have on demand in their brain, and poor people don't have that. So what do you think is going to happen to them? So that's a huge concern of mine. But that's the way I see it going. I don't see it being localized.
Okay. So Neeb is in the chat, totally spazzing out at the moment. Neeb, do you want to come in since we're talking about this subject that you really like to talk about?
Of course, North Korea.
Well, no, he's right about some of the stuff.
Oh no, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
No, it'd be cool.
All right, let me see. I'll add him, but yeah, go ahead, keep talking while I add him.
Oh, I was just saying, I don't think by the time that we progress, as far as our understanding of biology and AI, I don't think those two things will line up in such a way that we will be wanting to directly like mechanize our bodies and
Mm-hmm.
or some kind of link up to like basically a giant neural net, something like that. That's how I see it going down.
Neeb, are you there?
Yeah, I had it muted because I'm a fucking idiot. But oh
Hi.
my god. So this is crazy. I was like fucking 21, and I'm like, I don't think you understand the impending doom of AI and robots. And my ex-girlfriend, bless her, beautiful, great woman, and she's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then the drought happened, and then in North Korea, and then she's like, "Why the fuck do you care about North Korea?" And then a later ex-girlfriend of mine was like, so apparently I'm not totally gay, so if anybody's worried about that, I'm just kind of mostly gay, whatever. But it just she's like, "Why are you screaming about Islam?" And I'm like, "Nah, I think these are all relevant topics." So yes, 100%. So you're a philosopher, is that correct?
Yeah.
Like by training?
Yep.
Right. Well, I'm not anything by training because I'm not even a high school dropout. I'm a fucking high school dropout. Whatever.
Okay,
But
so
but no, this whole project of AI is massively important to me, and very specifically on the philosophical level. I did work IT for about 10 years, and
Very cool.
I have a technical background, whatever, but very specifically, the ethics of it, we need state investment in AI because corporations will, it will just
away.
generate.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll generate a crazy amount of wealth inequality. Nothing that's ever been seen on the entire planet in history by a long shot. It'll be like 900 million% different than anything that's ever happened before. So we need to do that. And very specifically, we need our governments to, especially in the West, because China is, they're balls deep. And we have to very specifically working on building our own robots, and I don't just mean robots, I mean AI and robots, to do all the physical labor, because when that starts happening by private firms, it will collapse economies. We're already fucked anyways. I've already discussed very at length of all my stuff on what's going to happen in the next couple of years. But we need to really make sure this happens, because if we can control the migrant crisis and all of the destruction and genocides that are going on right now and in the next year, we need to make sure that the computers and machines that are controlled by AI are in the hands of the people as opposed to the hands of the private, because that will just cause crazy genocides. Like I don't even know what words to use. So yes, I apologize for rambling a little bit.
you're not rambling. You're fine.
I like you and I are on the exact same wavelength. And the worst of it is, this isn't like a normal inequality that we've seen in the past. It's like, this is such a thing that, because it's so specific to intelligence and power, the people that are sort of like marginalized, or however you say it by this, it'll be impossible to come out of. They'll basically be slaves.
Yep. Yeah, and then there's also the impending possible fuck up of having just pure autistic machines that don't understand what it is to be human or anything like that, and they'll just go crazy, right? The autism problem in humans is already pretty bad, because you get Paul out of that, but / Paul. High five, Paul. I love autism. I inject vaccines for a living, so it's cool. But no, we will have a situation that has never been seen. It's not even close. It's not even remote. Like, look, right now, the poorest people in the West live virtually like the kings did a few hundred years ago. right? The poorest
Yeah.
people on the planet don't, but they're not that far off. They live in the cold and they eat garbage. That's true,
Yeah.
right? But now we are going to have a wealth inequality that is cascadingly different than anybody has ever anticipated in the entire planet. And I've been screaming about this.
Well, what do you mean?
Look,
Okay, well, tell me what you mean by those massive amounts of inequality. What are you talking about?
So we will generate infinite work. So all the needs will be met of some proportion of the planet. But then all of the jobs will be lost. So in the next, I don't know if you probably, I'm going to say risky. You probably know, you probably know him. Do you know Carnoa?
Spell it.
K-R, I can't even spell. K-A-R-N-O-A on Twitter.
No.
He works for a firm that does analysis for insurance companies, and they are working on projections of like the damage that will be done to the auto industry, like specifically like transportation for insurance companies. So they are projecting a crazy amount of destruction for people that do truck driving because automation right away. And it is tragic, and it will leave. Imagine the most like white, male gun toters that are just immediately out of work. Millions of them.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of them just gone right away. They're unemployed. We have to really solve this problem because it's giant.
Going to be a national security issue. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's to say the bare minimum. That's just one field, and you know what's going to get worse than the blue collar or whatever like minimal jobs is we already have computers writing news articles, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of my first jobs was as a checkout clerk. And I remember saying, like in my teens, my friend was my bagger for my line, and I looked at him and I was like, you know how easy this would be to just replace with a computer? And then like 10 years later, there you go, automated checkouts.
Yeah, but that's cheap labor.
Right,
that's
yeah.
cheap labor, right?
But that's the thing too, is like, right, but like even like, so like the poorest of the poor, they have to rely on manual labor because they can't afford an education. So if that's replaced, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now imagine millions of people that have like PhDs. So like a good example, right now already paralegals are almost entirely replaced by research bots. That's true. Journalists as well.
I could see that.
Yep. It's crazy.
Okay. So I have this video up, Ricky. What is this? It's called Robotic Pack Mule Field Testing by U.S. Military.
So these things, I'm sure Neeb knows what they are. So these things, they do all kinds of stuff, but basically their primary function is to follow soldiers in the field to carry massive amounts of gear so it doesn't wear on the people. But they're basically, essentially somewhat sentient, like robotic horses. So just watch it. It's just creepy to even see.
Neeb, are you ready? You got it pulled up?
I don't need to see it. This is made by Boston Dynamics. I'm very well versed in Boston Dynamics research.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this is just for me then.
What's that thing? This is the
He's kind of priming it here, getting everything ready.
Yeah.
Step down, it's pretty much like basically.
So like that thing he's putting on his boot is how it knows where he is. It's just like a sort of proximity GPS type thing.
A sensor.
Better when the front sensors lose sight of you, or the IR strips. That way it can go off of where your footsteps were.
Yeah, the Big Dog Project is good from Boston Dynamics. So is Atlas.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how
See,
much
we are
things
nerds.
we read together.
Yeah, and we
funny.
disagree on foreign policy. It's pretty.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. All right, check this out. Got his gear going. All right.
That is creepy.
Watch it.
No.
Yeah.
If you watch, they produced a video about Big Dog like many years ago, and they take it out in the winter on ice in Boston, and they kick it while it's walking, and it corrects and doesn't fall down. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen that. No, that's so impressive. I've seen that. Yeah.
Those
So this
things
thing-
are
this-
so disturbing that I can't even
Yes.
deal with it right now. Like, it's like, get it away from me now.
So like the reason it's doing that like sort of dance type thing is it's constantly rebalancing itself on the arm. But if you saw like the top, like that's where like all those soldiers that are around it, it's carrying all their gear. That's the main function of it.
Okay.
Yes, that is
It doesn't
correct.
work.
But have you seen? Oh man, this is really crazy.
Yeah.
Boston
Dog
Dynamics
one.
is also working on a very specific suit made of a like electromagnetic material. Where yes, you know what I'm talking about when you apply electric fields and the ferro properties, it stiffens up so your armor can turn into hard stuff, but that also makes like a fake muscle, so you can carry 300 pounds no problem, and you can also jump like fucking 20 feet or whatever. It's super bananas.
It's
and they've been doing this
Half-Life.
Yeah, it's not. Wow, it's a black project now. This was public information in like early 2002 or 3. But the project's gone black. There's no funding for it officially on the books anymore. But it's guaranteed to be pretty much moving along. But then they also went, there's a metamaterial. Jesus Christ, I'm a nerd. There's a metamaterial that was discovered in, I think, 2007 that can optically bend light around a target.
Yeah. I was just going to ask if you had heard
you know
of that. So you're basically invisible. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
What?
you
No,
look
no.
like Predator.
No, talk more about that. What?
You can carry 300 pounds, jump 20 feet, and be invisible.
So the material basically figures it absorbs the light around it just like anything else would. But then it figures out, the suit figures out the exact opposite of that sort of absorption reflection ratio. And then that's the chemical properties or electrical properties it gives the material you're wearing. So it's a perfect cancellation of what the light is that's hitting you or not, bouncing back. And so it makes you invisible.
Holy crap.
I mean, it's like you can kind of see like a big outline, but like if you're like 15 feet away, you're probably not going to see this thing. Like in the broad daylight.
Yeah, you become Predator. That's exactly
that
correct.
is insane.
It's legit.
Okay, so I've seen like the exoskeleton things that the military's.
Oh, those are baby stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying I've seen those. So I can only imagine. Oh my god, that is intimidating enough. But
well,
just,
the tech in me is just like geeking out over this stuff. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I really like talking to you because you know all the shit that I do, even though we disagree a little bit on politics. But what is really crazy, one of the things that I really like is very specifically science-wise. Have you seen? I think it's made by Lockheed, but I could be wrong. It might be General Dynamics or somebody like that. It is a passive exoskeleton. So it has no electricity required, and it allows you to hold like 200-pound equipment without basically any effort. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I
It's
know what you're
passive.
talking
It's
about,
got
but
like a counterweight on the back.
yeah, I didn't know it was like completely passive, but I do know what you're talking
What
about.
does that mean? What does the passive mean?
So like for
You
how
don't
it's
need
powered.
electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need electricity or batteries or anything like that. It's just it's a weird counterweight on your back, which obviously weighs a lot, but it uses leverage, and then that counterbalances. So if you're like holding a big pneumatic like air, what do you call those? Like I use them all the time. I don't know why. I don't know
Drill.
what I'm talking. No, like an air drill or something like that. Yeah, you don't have to hold all the weight. Yeah, I'll be here for a while, I guess. I'm not really that tired. That's fucking cool. Yeah, it's getting
Uh,
fucking exciting.
no, no,
It
dude.
basically
Yeah, you
uses your
guys.
body like a lever.
Hey,
Like
how about you get a collective thought for just a moment between the two of you,
Yeah.
and if you can
Okay.
think of a video that you want to
I
like
sent you
show the people, tell
I
me,
sent you the
tell me.
dog one in DMs.
Okay,
2 girls, 1 cup.
no, stop it, Nee, behave. Don't.
Of course, I would go there.
Yes, you would.
No.
Perfect chicken dogs.
Okay,
Is
all right,
that
continue. So the passive stuff, blah blah. Go, nerd
Yeah,
out.
no, it was just it's a really neat invention. First of all, I'd very like to point out very specifically that I'm a huge Lockheed Martin fan. All this anti-Lockheed stuff lately is pretty garbage. It has produced the most impressive aircraft in history, the fastest, the highest flying. Big fan of Lockheed Martin, and very specifically, they have moved off of the trying to produce spy planes and etc. lately, and very specifically, they are, and it's very specifically the Skunkworks program that's very deep, high level research and manufacturing, and they are they claim, at least, I don't know if it's true, of course, I don't know if they're serious, but very specifically, and a 80 megawatt, I believe, is the number, compact fusion reactor in the next 5 years. They'll have a prototype. I think it's the next 3 or 4 years, but
Oh my freaking god, this is unbelievably disturbing.
the dogs?
The
Is that what you're
dogs.
looking at?
The dogs. Yes,
I
I'm
sent her the video
looking
of the dogs.
at the dogs. Dear God.
Put it
Okay.
up.
All right. Neeb, you're going to cuddle with me over here in the corner for a minute so we can watch the creepy ass dog video.
Oh, sure. Leave me alone.
I can get Wendell for
plus
you.
dynamics, man.
Hang on.
Okay.
I'll get you Wendell.
Wendell.
There's Wendell. Whee!
Yeah.
There you go. Oh God, he burned Neeb. Okay, Neeb's fine. No. Just no. Alright, so I'm going to mute that so I don't want to kill myself. That is unbelievably disturbing.
Yeah, it's a big dog project. That's
It walks better than I do.
Oh, that's not good. That is not good at all.
For all of you who know her,
Wasky, I want one.
it
No,
walks better
you're
than
not getting one of
Shannon
those.
Gibbs.
You're not getting one of those. Don't you even. No, I don't think so. Just shut
You know
that
who
thought
she
down.
is.
Oh,
that.
God,
Kick him.
look at it. Look at it.
Doesn't even care.
No. If you could see my face right now, I'm like recoiling away from my screen.
Oh no, you are in for fucking
Just wait.
bad news bears all around.
Oh,
It looks
God.
like 2 humans are pretending to be this, but no, this is a real robot.
Exactly. It looks so fake and it looks so unnatural. It's like
Now,
that.
No, it's disturbing because it looks natural, but it's not. But it's foreign.
Hey, Billy. Hello, Mr. Bong. How are you?
What up,
Hey, Billy. Yeah, no, this machine, it's not even their best project. That's old. That's like
Yeah,
5
this is
years.
from like the early 2000s. I
Okay,
think.
so the chat, Marina just said, wait until it learns to get mad.
Shit, shit.
Great.
Dude, if AI converts to Islam, we're fucked.
Oh, no.
I was
Like,
waiting for someone to point that
Jesus
out.
Christ.
Yeah, we are totally fucked. It'll be like, Allahu Akbar, kill all the humans. Whatever.
Man, this thing is
Well,
just
yeah, no, Big Dog is one of the coolest robots I've ever seen, but it's old. Check out their bipedal robots. They got like Atlas and they got a couple other ones, but
I've
right.
seen Atlas before.
Boston Dynamics, dude, they have a robot that fucking rolls around on wheels, but it's like bipedal and it has arms and it can do like backflips over stuff.
Yeah, and it's like it
Fucking
just continually flips to regain balance and stuff like that.
Yep. And there's another. Obviously, everybody's seen. Well, I don't know if anybody's into fucking AI like I am, but robots. But do you know Honda's fucking robot Asimo? Beautiful.
Oh
Fucking
yeah. Wow,
There's
I
that. But dude, there is software that was written at MIT for like what do you call that? What's we're looking for? Not the word, the phrase. So I've been drinking. They're like path planning and projecting the future. So they have it like jump over, and this is all written by MIT, basically by Boston Dynamics, and they it can jump over like spinning fan blades and things like that on the ground.
A freaking ninja robot. A ninja robot.
Yep.
Yep.
Or even like look at this dude's like pushing on the trying to fuck it up and it's still
Man, you guys do not even understand what kind of anxiety you are causing me right now. You don't even get it.
Awesome.
You have to understand this is happening. And
I know it's happening. I know it's happening. But it's just
really I can't wait to see this. So like obviously like higher like more powerful like industrialized Western nations are gonna come up with this stuff first, right? So this is going to be like our equivalent of warfare.
Are we going to have robot wars? Are we going to have robot wars?
That's what I'm going to say. Like, when is at some point we're going to not even going to have humans in like a battlefield. It won't even be a contest.
No, and good.
Yeah.
Just
send
exactly. in the robots to just mow down all the Muslims. It's fine. We should just nuke most Muslim cities. But
I am pro drone for that exact reason, by the way. So because of
how so am I.
Out of risk.
100%. Yep. I'm like, look, you're a war hawk. I am not. I think just fucking let them eat themselves. Just set up torpedo launchers on the coasts of Europe and just shoot all the boats. Don't care. But don't go into Syria.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Neeb. Finish that thought.
So I guess this will be continuation number 2. We talked about this. It wouldn't be today, but yes. So my foreign policy is very specifically. It's not totally non-interventionist. Definitely drop Moabs and nukes and whatever on very specific places, but don't just go invade or try to do stuff in the Middle East. We don't care. Yeah. Whatever. Fuck off. But North Korea is a major problem, and it's a major problem for a very specific reason. It's not the humanitarian crisis, which is, you're a philosopher. Right. You argue for the human suffering area.
Well, that's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care that much because there's human suffering everywhere on the planet.
For sure, yeah.
Right. So, so when it goes past the research phase of miniaturizing nuclear weapons, or even just developing the atomic, it gets. Did we already talk about this? I talk about this a lot. So
the isolation.
Yeah.
So when you just when you start manufacturing them, it's crazy. You can just go crazy with building them, and especially with thermonuclear weapons. We need to very particularly only deal with North Korea, not on moral grounds, but it's on moral grounds, but it's on moral grounds of they will sell nukes to everybody, and that is not a controversial fact. It's been talked about by the regime itself, and the kid is crazier than his dad by a long shot. He's like whatever. So there's that, and then I don't want to go into say Syria. Don't really care.
Right.
All of those.
Just to be clear for anyone else listening, I'm not comfortable with the label Warhawk, because it kind of has this connotation of like.
Oh no! I label myself.
Like
I label myself that way. Not Ricky. Definitely not Ricky. I label myself.
Oh, I know. It's just that I know some people interpret what I say that way, and which is understandable. But just to kind of clarify,
I do it in a half joking way as well. I don't want anybody to fight. I don't want anybody to die. I do want everybody to get along. But it's not
more accurate.
It's not rational.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more accurate to describe me as a foreign policy hawk, in the sense that I'm not like someone who's like bloodthirsty or like out to like take over everything. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that.
Yep.
I'm just talking about, U.S. interests or Western interests. There's a reasonable line to walk, and you cannot be spineless to go either direction. You have to, there's times where it's completely appropriate to be totally just like aggressively diplomatic. There's other times when you have to get messy. And that's all I mean by that, because there's so many people on the left that are just like, no war, period. I'm like, that's crazy.
No.
That's how your country will just get destroyed. That's nuts. So that's what I mean. I'm not like some like warmongering type person. It's just
and
I feel like
and you're probably way to the left of me.
Yeah.
And I work with Noam Chomsky. I'm a total historical leftist. I've just gone. I haven't really left anywhere other than some economic situations. I've gone to the right over the years, but really, the left has just gone off the tracks. And I'm just like, carpet bomb Sweden. Like, this is crazy. Like, what's going on over there?
You're listening.
Well, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cough in everybody's ear.
I was trying to find a video of that suit. No luck. No dice. But
I'm not going to search for it because I don't want those. I don't want those nightmares. Thank you very much. The dog is enough for me.
You don't want one of those? Come on.
No. If you find the link, I'll put it up. You can put. Okay, so on. You have the My Circle TV thing. You can put it in the search bar and do it yourself. Like, I don't have to do that. You have those powers. Seriously, this stuff really freaks me out. Only because it doesn't look natural, and the supernatural stuff tends to freak me out.
No,
it looks like two humans. Yeah, it looks like two humans are faking themselves, like in like those horse kind of costumes, but opposite like directions. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When you dress up like a horse. Yeah, but it looks like opposite. The legs are fucking crazy. It's bananas.
That's why it's creeping people out, is because the movement is natural, but what's
it's not.
Is foreign.
No, it's not.
It's supernatural.
Nope. No. That is not natural.
It's not godly. But
it doesn't have a head. It doesn't have a neck. It has no emotions. That is
no. That's not the natural stuff. It's the legs. The legs literally look like two humans facing each other, covered in a fake robot, and then they're doing stuff. That's what makes it crazy. Is it looks exactly like that?
No.
I'm having a problem. Oh wait, is this it?
What? You need to go. Go to the search.
Well, it's hard because it's like the search terms. You're going to get a lot of like pseudoscience crap. This might be it. Let me look at it real quick.
Also, by the way, that fucking head transplant, fake news. Guarantee it. I've been calling all bunch of stuff recently 100% correct, except for the numbers of the fucking European, the UK election, I got slightly wrong. I thought they would lose 2 seats. They lost 12, but that's still, they still won. The Conservatives, the Tories.
Do you know what? Do you know what my theory is on that? That was like a reaction to the terror attack.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Theresa May's crazy fucking manifesto, and I didn't read the full manifesto until the day of the elections, and I'm like, wow. Well,
I haven't read it. I haven't read it yet.
She's a fucking mental case.
She's
like, well, we should just. Well, she was basically just like, we should just like tap everybody's phones and whatever. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all that crazy security stuff. Plus, she was also like, we also shouldn't blame Muslims. Well, yeah, no, we should. 100% we should. What are you talking about? That's the whole point of tapping all the phones, which you shouldn't be doing in the first place. But Jesus Christ. Yeah, you guys got it all wrong. And Sadiq Khan is a fucking asshole. And,
God.
He should be removed.
His interview today was unbelievably just a slap in the face. Those people, that one woman, she was pushing him on those questions about, is there anything going to be done? Is there anything going to be resolved with this? Because the Grenfell Towers that caught fire in London.
They're called Grenfell Towers, by the way.
Oh, Grenfell. Sorry.
Sorry. Have you lived in the UK before? But
I don't live in London. Thank you very much. I don't. I'm not. I'm way farther north than London.
I know where you live.
Yes.
I have your address.
You freaking creep.
Yep.
But that lady was really pushing on, and he was struggling. You could tell he was like looking behind him, kind of out of the corner of his eye, looking at the cops like, are y'all going to shut this bitch up or what? Or are you just going to let her keep asking me these very hard-hitting questions, or am I just going to stand here and continue to look like an ass? And he just continued to stand there and look like an ass, and then he babbled some talking points, and then there was a heckler in the crowd, and he was like, okay, let's listen to Sadiq. Let's see what he's got to say. I want to hear what this asshole is going to spew this time. What kind of bullshit is it going to be? I was like, damn it. And it's on YouTube right now too. They just released it.
I haven't liked him for since he got elected. It's weird that I follow UK politics as closely as I do. What should happen right now is Theresa May ran such a shit campaign, but the numbers are good. And the reason for why I say this is because she doesn't have her mandate for her crazy manifesto because it was so fucked up because she lost seats. She lost enough seats to be like, nah, we got to deal with these crazy right-wing fucking religious people to have a majority. You have to make a coalition, make majority. But at the same time, she can still hard Brexit and should, but she should be fired. And Nigel Farage, you can't barrage Farage, man. Fire her and appoint him as the head of the Conservative Party, even though he was UKIP for fucking 20 years, trying to get Brexit going. Get him in. You will have massive UK support, and we will, I say we, like I live there, we will just start hucking refugees into the ocean. They're not refugees, they're migrants. We'll just be chucking them in the ocean. Don't care. Fuck off. We don't want you. That's true. And yeah, I don't give a fuck what I say on camera all the time. I am a
They
dickhead.
won't literally be chucking them into the ocean. Neeb is just a bit dramatic with his words. We know this. Everybody.
No, what we will be doing is putting them in boats to send them away and then just torpedoing the boats and sinking them.
No, shut your face. That is not going to happen. Stop it. Hi,
Yes,
hello NSA and FBI. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I am hyperbolic in my
Dude,
rhetoric.
my freaking stream. Okay, our stream got cut last night. While we were talking about Islam. So I'm a
Yeah.
bit paranoid at the moment.
Dude, I got
Dude,
a
that was
call
weird.
from our.
That was weird.
This is a long time ago. I got our equivalent of the FBI, the CSIS.
I am not shocked that you are telling us this story. Let me just go ahead and make that clear.
Yeah, no, they called
Jesus.
me,
Jesus Christ.
and then they passed it on to the to the RCMP, which is our federal police department.
My God.
And then they called me again because of some shit that I said, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, what is wrong with talking about stuff? I'm not going around beating up anybody or doing any violence. I'm just talking shit on the internet, basically, but also in public. That's true. I do speak loudly.
Well,
Also-
the internet is the public at this point.
Oh yeah, but when you do it in real
Excuse
life,
me.
there's real people that really give a shit. When you just post shit on the internet, people don't really care. But nah. I also got fucking whatever. There's a lot of criminal stuff that almost happened that didn't because of my speech. But so I don't. I already told you, Kari, earlier, very specifically about my scars. That's
Yes.
fucking crazy. But that's for
wait.
something that's just local, normal.
Hold on, I gotta interrupt really fast. So I'm laughing at the background because it's horses, like real horses,
Yeah.
and then the main picture is the robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a robotic horse.
Okay, so did
Are
you find
these
a link to
cowboy
your
dude
weird
butts?
did you find a link to your weird video? Another weird video?
I couldn't find one. It was too hard to like sort through all the like the scammy crap. But basically, what it is well, we described it. It's the suit. There's a demo.
The suit. Yeah, the I don't know how to find that. It's non-powered, doesn't require any energy.
Yeah.
Just is
Last I
use
saw it,
leverage.
it basically looks like a raincoat.
Okay, well I've got one. I've got Atlas. So
Okay, cool. Yeah.
we'll horrify everybody with Atlas.
Oh, Atlas is fucking crazy. Does fucking backflips and shit. It's fucking bananas. Or is that Atlas 2? I forget. But
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I don't. It's made by Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics is one of the craziest fucking.
Oh my
companies
God!
in the
It's opening a door, and it's in the snow.
It's a horse.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to hear that squeaking. But
Huh.
yep, that's pretty
I'm
freaking.
sorry, but I just want to like run up to it, like pile drive it from the side.
Well, why? But why do you have that impulse? Because I have the same. I have the runaway impulse, but
Because I just would want to see how it'd be able to recover from the impact.
well, just watch the goofy thing. Watch it. It's
Well,
walking through this.
it's not like it's not. It doesn't think. You know what I mean? It can't be like, "Hey, danger!"
No.
It's just like whack, and then it reacts.
It doesn't have any senses to give it any warning that danger is approaching.
Yeah, all it knows how to do is not fall and follow things.
Yeah, that's true. But I would like to get a hand job from it.
No, dude, stop it.
'Cause that would probably be fucking
Stop it.
strong as fuck.
Have a fun trip to the ER with that one.
I used to get I used
So
to date
how
this
did this
girl.
happen?
No, I used to date this girl. She was like I don't know, fucking
Nabe, really?
85 pounds, something like that. But I used to get her. I would put my dick
Nabe,
on
stop.
the desk, and she would stand on my cock, and I would just like
Beep. Cut it out.
fake news.
Pay
By
attention
fake
to the
news.
psycho robots.
Yep.
Look at that guy. That's cruel.
Oh, they're
Cool.
taking the box from it. They're making it chase it. It's like okay,
Well, that's what I was trying to do to that girl.
it looks like it's a confused old man at this point. It's like, hey, give me my box back. Oh, no, don't. Oh, that's so mean. They pushed down the. Okay, so now I feel sorry for it. I have empathy for a freaking robot. Don't pick.
Put anthropomorphizing.
It's so brutal watching it just get abused.
Yeah, no.
But it's funny. Yeah. Because you feel like it's a human or something like that, or some sort of animal, right? Sorry.
Cute.
That's crazy. Yeah, I burp all the time.
No,
So,
That's pretty hardcore though. Standing up by just the legs like that. Like humans probably couldn't do that.
How
very
much
easily.
do these things weigh? Like
Oh, man, I
around,
haven't even-
those ones weigh a lot. Very specifically, they weigh a lot because of the power supplies that they have to use. I know lithium's light, but yeah, no, it's power supplies. Yeah, unless that one's a gas one, they use gas too, just like the Nazis, but different.
Just like the Nazis, but different. Like the Nazis, but not.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Oh my god, fucking terrible.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Boston Dynamics makes all sorts of cool shit. General Dynamics also does. Lockheed Martin. If you want to play a really cool video that really matter, is it really 8 tons? I don't believe that. That's too high.
That's got no way.
Yeah, that's way too dense.
24,000 pounds.
Unless it's made of fucking uranium, basically. That's impossible.
That's like
okay.
That's
so
like
what's the video?
Mars.
What's the video name?
So the video that I was thinking about is fucker got distracted. Give me a second here.
Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin fusion reactor, 5 years, something like that. Just Lockheed Martin fusion.
Fusion reactor.
It is yep, that'll work.
Restarting the atomic age.
Yes, that'll probably work. It's
Okay.
their PR video, and it's fantastically crazy.
It says compact fusion research and development.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, Neve, I used to live fairly close to one of their research facilities for aircraft. It's pretty awesome. I knew someone that worked there.
So what is this? What is this about? Give me a little bit of context.
Well, so the atomic age was supposed to build like the future of society on nuclear energy, and atomic energy is bad because certain types of reactors. I'm a big fan of like thorium reactors, but I'm not a big fan of like light water or heavy water fission reactors based on uranium and plutonium. But this technology is clean, can't be weaponized, and if it's compact and it produces 80 to 100 megawatts on the size of a fucking truck that powers, I don't know, how many homes? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you how big it was, because if I could
it
see
fits on the back of
how
a
much
truck.
we could, like, if you could get like a, what is it, a kevaton, KTV out of it, like, wow, like in a small area, that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, and can't be weaponized due to the fact.
Okay.
So if you guys really want to see a really fucking autistic girl, her name is I think her name is
what?
Katie Hudon, I believe. She gave a talk at a fucking nuclear conference, and she was like fucking 14, but she's super autistic, obviously, because she wrote. Already at this age, she has studied nuclear, what's the word I'm looking for? The reaction chain of a thorium to protactinium to uranium-235 reaction chain. And then she also wrote software to run quantum computers on multiple platforms.
Good gracious.
Yeah. And so people in the audience, some guys like, oh, that's crazy. Where did you go to school? And she's like, well, I was homeschooled. And then they're like, oh, so are your parents scientists? She's like, no, they're just engineers. And then everybody laughs because they thought it was a joke. And then she's like, what, did I do something wrong? Like, she just panics out of control because she doesn't have any social normal.
Oh, poor
yeah,
thing.
she's like hyper autistic. Yeah, but she is the fucking wave of the future. I can't recommend her highly enough.
Send me her name or whatever it is to Twitter, and I'll put her in the description.
Katie, whatever. I don't know that video because that video very specifically is
Just get
not
me
on
her,
her
get me
channel.
her name, and I will find the video.
All right.
Okay.
I'll
All right,
do
we'll
that.
play it.
I just realized I'm not on your thing. I can't see the video.
I sent you the link.
50 years ago, when people were super excited about nuclear power, we tried to put it on everything, including airplanes. There were some big operational issues. It wasn't safe. Fusion is a much safer option. A next generation of airplanes that doesn't rely on fuel and can just stay aloft, unlimited range, unlimited endurance. That's what nuclear fusion can do for an airplane. So nuclear fusion is the process by which the sun works. If you take a gas and you heat it up, eventually it separates into its ions and electrons. When the ions get hot enough, they can overcome their mutual repulsion and collide, fuse into one piece. When they do that, they release a lot of energy, 1,000,000 times more powerful than a chemical reaction, for example. What we're trying to do is control that reaction here on Earth. We put it in a magnetic bottle that can contain the high temperatures. You need hundreds of millions of degrees. We can release in a controlled fashion that energy. We think we have a very robust strategy going forward that has potential for success. What this concept does is it's a high beta concept, which means we use a high fraction of the magnetic field pressure. We use all of its potential. And that means we can make our devices 10 times small. So instead of something the size of a building, we have something the size of a large truck. The small is the reason we can do this quickly. If something's small, you can build up momentum, you can develop it fast. It doesn't take 5 years to design it, it takes 3 months. We can design it, build it, test it in under a year. We can do several of these cycles, and we think we can get to a prototype in 5 years. Every time you do plasma physics, you learn something new. And that's why this is a high-risk, high-payoff endeavor. That's what we're doing here, is testing that concept out to see if it really holds the promise that it appears to. And as a defense company, our increasing mission is to enhance global security, and this is how we do that in the energy realm. The world already does 40 gigawatts of gas turbines a year. The gas line going into that gas turbine, we're going to replace that with a heat exchanger coming off our fusion reactor. We basically use the gas turbine infrastructure completely. We partner with one of those companies, and we ship fusion-powered turbine plants around the world, and we expand that technology. Gas turbines are a huge improvement over other technologies in terms of climate change, but they're only a 50% improvement. We take it all the way. So no emissions, safe operation, proliferation-free. That means we can ship it to the whole world with a good conscience. Now, the old promise of atoms for peace was a noble one, but ultimately flawed because the technology wasn't right for it. We can achieve that grand vision and bring clean power to the world. The true atomic age can start. 10 years, we have great military vehicles. 20 years, we have clean power for the world. This isn't online by 2100. This is online by the time I can't even retire after we finish this. I still have to find another job after this is done.
That's pretty cool. I wasn't even aware of this kind of technology, to be honest.
So, okay. So they're taking like when he's talking about, like sort of retrofitting it. They're saying they're utilizing the pressure off of it. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah. So like, this also applies to thorium, type reactors as well. You build up high heat, and that increases pressure. And gas turbines, and I hate pronouncing it like Americans. Turbines is how they're actually pronounced. Fuck off.
I say turbines. Yeah. I say turbines.
Oh, that's because you don't hate Packies or whatever you want to call them.
Jeez.
Calm yourself.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You move just a fucking asshole.
Go.
very specifically, high pressure CO2 turbines are hyper efficient compared to previous generation stuff, but you can just pipe this technology right into what we now use as like coal-fired, or natural gas is more fit for this, turbine systems to produce electricity. So you just plug and play, and and it's crazy. It's crazy. And it will be super cheap because apparently, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but like 99% of the universe is hydrogen. So we're fine. We're not going to run out of it.
Right.
It's not literally 99. I think
we'll die from the sun before that happens.
Well, I believe there was one guy who died as a son for your sins. His name is Jesus Christ. Of course I go there. I make all the cheesiest jokes all day, every day.
Yes, you do. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because it is nearly 6 o'clock in the morning here. I'm starting to get a little bit tired. But it's been a freaking awesome night. I'm glad you came and joined us. We are going to do another stream with you so we can do a better geopolitical conversation instead of just touching on it like we did tonight. So I can be better prepared to bring up examples and stuff like that.
And I'd appreciate if you would DM me some questions or whatever in advance. So
yeah, no problem. Of course I will.
Because I am a little bit rusty on some topics, but I've been studying these topics for a very long time, and super fucked up. But like, I'm like, no.
I definitely want to pick your brain and stuff about it because you have all of that stuff stored away. I mean, let's get it out.
It's locked up there.
I mean, because the majority of this stuff that you have told me in the past or shared with me, I've gone and checked back on it, and I haven't found anything so far that hasn't matched up with what you're saying. So that's why I continue to bring you on. And
I'm gonna get details wrong. That's for sure.
No. Well,
fucking alcohol.
Maybe a small date here or whatever, but it's not a lie.
Dates and stuff.
It's obviously not any sort of like stuff you're making up. It's easy to backtrack and source it out.
And very specifically,
it's a discussion. It's not a presentation. We're good.
No, we're all good. And very specifically, because how long? I don't know how many fucking few years we've been friends. And this is fucking bananas that people are like, why are you friends with her? I'm like, well, because we get along. We've been friends for years. Why
3 years.
Yeah.
I'm able to set aside.
I think it's about 3 years. I could be wrong. I'm really bad with dates, but
no, it has. It has been.
It's been about 3 years.
Yeah.
And Risky.
Yo.
You're new to my circle of units, of course, but no, we are absolutely in lockstep about tons of stuff. It's amazing. So I'd like to continue this conversation. Yep. Yeah. You guys are the reason that I even talk to him. So, Kari, feel very happy about this. But Risky, add me to fucking Twitter or whatever, or fucking
Skype. Yeah, you guys need to hook up on Skype so y'all can talk.
Not today.
More in depth about this stuff, and maybe you two can come up with some topics that I'm not aware of, and you guys can run a show one night, and I can just sit there and just hit the button and let Wendell slide across the screen.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Neve and I would probably talk for like 10 hours.
No, I would still be here. But I would referee. I'd be the timekeeper pretty much.
Being a faggot, I believe, would be a good topic that you probably won't be.
God.
We are. Because we're lords.
You're something, that is for sure. That is for sure. All right. Well, we are going to head out. Thank you, everybody that hung out for the entire time. What fucking troopers. I mean, come the hell on. It's been a little over 3 hours. But I didn't want to end it because the conversations were so good, and Neeb is insanely hilarious. My daughter, she's been following along with the stream, and she just went to bed, but she thinks you're hilarious, Neeb, so.
Well, how old is she?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad
I'm
thing.
single. No, whatever.
No, she's not legal, my dear. Calm yourself. And she's mine, so that means she's off limits. So no.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. Yes, I'm
That is the
fucking around.
code. That is the. I know you are. That's why you're still living.
Yeah. Well,
All right, everybody. Good night. We'll see you
kisses.
later. Thanks for
Everybody's
hanging
bags.
out. It's been fun. Neeb, shut up so I can end the stream. You will not get the last word. You bastard. This is mine. This is mine. Shut your face. Now. Good night, everybody. See you later.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, you can say good night, Ricky.